San Antonio Spurs return to action this evening, hoping to end a season or start a season-long three-game win streak as they take on the Rockets tonight. The tip is at 7 o'clock. Speaking of the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama named for his second consecutive Rookie of the Month award, averaging 21 points, 10 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and a league-leading 4 blocks a game.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, everybody, gather up. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. That's RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. Go log into your device and look at him directly on our YouTube feed. Hey, I'm Rob Thompson, sitting comfortably across from him, and there you see Easy E. Edwin Hefner. You don't see him, but he's here in spirit, as always. Flash on your camera every now and then. Smile to the crowd, Edwin. How you doing this morning, RJ? Everybody good?
Hey, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday's the worst day of the week.
No, actually, to me, tomorrow is. I got to get through Wednesday. Hey, speaking of worst and best days of the week, did you know that we spring forward next Saturday night?
Next Saturday night?
The coming Saturday. These out events. Yeah, Saturday we spring forward.
Yeah. Okay, you can't say Saturday we spring forward. That makes it sound like this Saturday.
It is this Saturday. The coming Saturday, the next Saturday that we come across.
Okay, that's this Saturday, not next Saturday. So
that's
you're saying
this
4
Saturday.
days from now?
Yes.
4 days from now.
We are springing forward.
Wow, I got here quick. Are you sure?
I believe so. It's either the next weekend or this one. One of the first two. I look forward to the sun.
No,
for sure.
It says, oh, you're right, Saturday night.
Yeah,
Oh,
Saturday
okay.
night. But the alarm, man.
I think this is the last one that we're doing.
We've said that. I've said that most of my adult life. This will be the last time I have to deal with this crap. I don't know why we can't figure it out, but we can't. Yeah, it's a mystery. It's kind of like why we do kilo or weights in ounces and pounds instead of kilos.
Oh, well, the metric system.
Well, does anybody else do this? Switching clocks? Are we the only ones in the world that do this? I think we are.
Well, even not all of us do it, right? Like, isn't it like Phoenix doesn't? They're just
Arizona doesn't. Indiana doesn't. I think there might be one other state which would be even screwier if you didn't.
Man, that must be like a wild experience to be in Phoenix, like have everybody else adjust.
Yeah, your clock's the same. I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess for those that have to deal with West Coast or East Coast businesses on a regular. For me, I don't like it just because it's already so hard to set the alarm for when we do, and then for a week or so, it's an hour earlier.
Yeah, that conversation gets kind of annoying. Like, oh, well, it's really no, it's not. It's what it is. It's not what time you think it is. It's what time it is.
Well, no, your body does have a clock, circadian rhythm, if you will.
Time is a funny thing. I mean, we could sit here.
Time is a flat circle.
You have no idea how lost I've gotten in Back to the Future theories and things like this. Like, time is a wild.
I'm reading a book on intelligent design right now.
That sounds interesting.
It's called the God Theory.
Okay.
It's a. I watched Oppenheimer, and you ever studied string theory?
I can't say that I have.
It's at a level of we're getting in. That's some deep thinking stuff there.
Closest I've got for you is I've seen The Big Bang Theory. That's as much as I can do.
Kind of far away. Well, there's two basic schools of scientific thought. One that is it is mechanical in nature, and then there is the other side that says there was at some point, whether you believe in the Big Bang or not, some sort of intelligent design, something put the big rock out here would be the idea, or that it was always out here and the Big Bang was fostered by some sort of mechanical event. It's kind of two sides of thought. But I digress on an early Tuesday morning. Hey, I walked out this morning and I saw a crescent moon. And that combined with a Dak Prescott sighting, I do think is a portent of the end of civilization as we know it. We hear from Dak Prescott in a very interesting time. I think his PR types, who's he with? He's with CAA, right? creative.
That's correct.
They said, you know what? It might be time to go get yourself shaved up. Go get yourself prettied up. Grab that baby. And let's
Congratulations to the Prescott family on the birth of his. On the subject of weird time, I believe she was born on Leap Day, so that's a whole different, thing to manage in terms of birthdays and whatever.
So
there's the like, oh well, I'm only 10 years old. Like, okay, we get it, we understand. So yeah.
So they will. We get to hear from Dak. He's confident, but he's always confident. We'll also hear from a former Dallas Cowboy quarterback in Troy Aikman. We do care what he has to say, whether he's plugged in or not.
There's also, on the subject of Cowboys quarterbacks, both former and active, a rumor that one active Cowboys quarterback could soon be a former Cowboys quarterback.
Yeah, this is interesting because we hit on this yesterday, and I don't think a lot of Cowboy fan understands that this Trey Lance trade is a fiasco. We didn't realize it was at the time, and somebody should have, but it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situations here, because we're dealing with a starting quarterback and a whole other issue. But if we keep the backup around, the salary cap hit is going to be redunculous for a guy we might not ever see. And there might be a sucker out there, or at least somebody out there, that might take him off our hands. And I hate to say it like that, because I kind of held out a little bit of modicum of hope that maybe they had seen something and it was going to be worth it. But I think they might see something, but they didn't check their bank account.
There is hope that the Cowboys will find someone to help them either recoup their initial investment in Trey Lance, a 4th-round draft pick, or mitigate the loss.
Mitigate the loss.
I mean, that carrot exists. So we will explain what is involved there. Rob, also, you know what else we have to talk about today? Do you know?
No. I thought I had highlighted everything that was really important. It's right in front of me.
Can tie.
Oh, it's right.
NBA history tonight.
It is a big day.
I mean, Tuesday, March 5th, 2024.
120 consecutive games of 20 assists or better hangs in the balance.
Yeah. Tonight. The 1980s Lakers are going to be watching with bated breath tonight. I know what Magic's doing tonight. He's rooting for the Rockets.
So so the record we're breaking was set by the 1980s Showtime Lakers.
I think it was 83-84. I'll double check, but
that's Showtime.
I know. I remember the year specifically.
So that that turned out pretty well for them.
That's true.
They won some playoff games and made it to the finals. They lost to the Sixers at one point, I believe. I think that was 83. But they were good. That hadn't turned out quite as good for the Spurs. The 20 assist plateau ain't that important. But records are meant to be broken, and maybe we'll get it to fall. We will talk about the Spurs as they head to, or the Houston Rockets do arrive, because the pundits, that the 4 wise men of the NBA. The wise men types, the wind horses, the Wojs.
Windy Woj.
I think
Shams.
Zach Lowe falls into one of the wise men.
We don't acknowledge Zach Lowe around here.
Oh, we don't. Well, he kind of. Anybody else that
Zach's
you go?
Great, but Zach said a silly thing, so we're there's a mandatory 1-year banishment. That's all.
Anybody else fall into that? Because all of them were talking about the Spurs yesterday.
I mean, you could put Malika Andrews, you could put Ramona Shelburne, you could
Ramona,
put,
yes, not Malika. She's too new, but Ramona, she's got
Mark Stein.
Mark's
there's a lot of
state centric.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that you could.
I agree, but I think when we're talking about the voices, first and foremost is Wojbomb and Wendy, Mark Stein, and all of them have been talking about the Spurs lately. Easy E and I had a conversation as we got going this morning, or RJ got here. And Edwin brought it up, and it kind of crossed my mind too, that notice there's been a fair amount of conversation about the Spurs and how they're doing things. Like we started last week with Barkley and Shaq on TNT. Either get trust the process or make your moves. I think there's some not concern. That's not a good word. I think that the NBA is looking at the Spurs, and they're looking at the second consecutive rookie of the month. They're looking at it's foregone conclusion rookie of the year. They're looking at the numbers tell us the defensive player of the year, which he may or may not get it, but obviously I think he's playing to that level. And the NBA and those that care about such things as ratings and the like are going, we don't want to waste this Wemby in San Antonio. We got things we got to do as a league. And if Wemby's on a team with 12 wins that's excited about the possibility of, for the first time in his long and illustrious career, they could win 3 straight games, we might want to press on the gas a little bit. We don't need just Wemby. We need the Spurs to be better, because we can't have Aprils and Mays with the face of the league on a team fighting for a play-in game more than about 2 years. We need you to get better. And there's different schools of thought, and we'll hear from Woj and a couple others talking about what they believe the Spurs should be doing. But more than not, most of them are going, guys, you got to get better. This team should be better already. Clock is ticking.
Well, I think that is well said and well thought out and well articulated, and that's exciting. Put all the pressure on the Spurs front. Put all the pressure on Pop. Put all the pressure on Brian Wright. That's what we want. So this is a good thing. This is a good day. By the way, it was the Lakers streak began in October of '84 and expired in January of '86. So it was just a touch off.
A ridiculous number then, and worthy of chasing. But now would be an interesting case study as to why that number meant so much back then and means absolutely nothing now. And there's 1,000 different contributing factors to it, but it is interesting how the game has changed such.
Just to throw out, just data. And we'll talk about it, but the Spurs have the second longest streak, and theirs is active. The Pacers, the current Pacers, are at 116. Spurs are at 119. So they're active as well. But the next longest streak belonged to the Bad Boys Pistons at 97 games. So my point is, it's not like this has been happening. It's not like every year it's just like beaten by 1 or something like that. Like this hadn't happened in a very, very long time. Like the Bad Boys Pistons came close right after, but that was it.
Do we have Tom Segura tickets to give away? What do we have to give away? Do we have Jeff Tate or Tom Segura? Who are we doing? Because I want to give them away to my morning crew on a Tuesday morning. So this is the deal. We're gonna come back looking at the Cowboys. We're gonna hear from Dak, who has
Tom Segura tickets.
Who is Dak is always an optimist. That guy's glass is half full, whether there's anything in there or not. But the timing of this is very interesting. There's no denying that seeing Dak at any point is random, and to see him 3 days or 2 days after a baby was born, even more. 4 days after a baby was born. So let's hear from Dak and kind of figure the ramifications. You're going to hear from Troy Aikman as well as he speaks to the Cowboys situation. We're talking a lot about these Spurs, and we're going to quantify success from this point forward. What will be a success when the last shot is taken in the 23-24 basketball season? Because the first part, I don't know if we quantify it as a team success. Individually, I think we have 1 or 2 success stories, and we'll cover the rest of the NBA as well. As we do, we're coming back. I'm giving away some tickets to go see Segura, and we're talking Dallas Cowboys. So what is your job in the meantime? Listen to our fine sponsors and make sure you're clicking the right buttons. Make sure you're watching us where you can on your device. We're on YouTube. Just remember, we're San Antonio Sports Star, and this is the Morning Huddle. Make sure you're liking appropriate things and subscribing as you need. And we will be right back fulfilling our end of the bargain, talking top flight sports of world renown. We'll be right back. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 US Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th. Presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
My life coach has a terrible life.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I use memes as a coping mechanism.
At Mattress Firm, we know the right mattress matters. While supplies last, save up to 50% on select Tempur-Adapt floor models. All with free and fast delivery. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs, like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
KFC's new Smashed Potato Bowl is out here looking like an absolute snack. For just $3.49, you get crispy secret recipe fries topped with creamy mashed potatoes, cheese sauce, bacon crumbles, and even more melty cheese. If you're looking to smash your hunger, grab KFC's new Smashed Potato Bowl for just $3.49. For a little extra, add nuggets to the mix. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener, or online at TriCountyMeat.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clear skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
This is Andrew Monaco and the Aggies of 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle. If you're lazy, TMH. That's RJ. I'm Rob. Hey, show the folks that beautiful Stanley.
The one you don't have?
The one I don't have. The one you stole, allegedly.
This is 40 ounces, dude.
What's in it? Scotch?
Water.
Oh, sure.
I looked this up. Do you know how many ounces a day an adult male needs? Because I was curious how many Stanleys that had to, go through.
I was told 80.
106, 107.
So I thought it was 10 8-ounce glasses of water.
You're wrong.
So it's even more than that.
Yeah, 2.5 of these in a day. You're, you're good.
My son has adopted the Stanley lifestyle.
Good for him.
Well, no, I mean, I'm down. I get staying hydrated, but just carrying around your sippy cup all day long. It's like we've all reverted to 5 years old. If mine would wobble and I just could keep it full of
then it
apple
sounds
juice.
like you know what to get Dak Prescott from his registry because he just had a baby.
that was well done. Yes. Dak Prescott came out of his hole for a rare public appearance. The timing,
the only public appearance of this offseason.
The timing of all times, 4 days after you got a new baby, you're rolling out. It just seems like the steam is starting to pick up. Now, Dak Prescott is nothing if not confident. That guy exudes it, whether he believes it or not, I don't know. But I've never been in the presence of any athlete who was more a walking example of a motivational poster than Dak Prescott. He is the epitome of just hang in there. And he showed up talking a little bit yesterday. When you think Dak Prescott and his future, we've talked about it the last couple of days. And before we hear from him, this is so... He's saying what I believe to be true the day before Green Bay. The day before the last one, the extension's coming, yada, yada. But so much has changed since we last saw him, but it feels like while our lives have carried on, he's been in baby mode. So yesterday, he was asked if he felt like a deal was going to get done, and, well, here comes the confident Dak.
Yeah, I'm definitely confident. Obviously, it helps the team. It's important for the numbers. So I think it's Jerry. I've heard Jerry said that. Kind of helped me over here and told me that part, right? That is a process. Both sides understand that. Everything's great. I know happy.
I believe him. I find that to be sincere.
Everything's great.
Here's the thing. Dak Prescott, and this doesn't make him any less of a quarterback. A little bit of an awkward person, just a little bit. I mean, for all the natural charm that comes with leadership, there's a little bit of, I think the awkwardness is a result of standoffishness in terms of public speaking. I always go back to when he was on Pardon My Take. He was, you could tell they were struggling to get any kind of answer from him. They finally just said, "What's your favorite color?" And he said, "Gray." And they were like, "Gray?" So he's gonna offer.
I had not heard that. So
dude,
he said his favorite color is gray.
I mean, it was really obvious they were trying to just have any kind of fun. You know what I mean? And so they said they just reverted to, "What's your favorite color?" And he went, "Gray."
And serial killers answer gray. What? Gray?
And they both went, but they both were like bewildered as you can imagine. They were like, "Gray?"
Gray.
Well, I mean, gray's a staple in Mississippi State's color scheme.
What the hell kind of answer? Seriously, there is an entire I would have to delve into that. We're gonna go ahead and put a pin in your favorite color and come back to that because that no one has ever said gray to my knowledge. That's not even a color.
I asked him myself in an interview a couple of years ago. I reached a similar impasse, and I finally reverted to, "What's your favorite TV show? What would be the gray that you could imagine?"
Oh, he would the news.
He said Sports Center.
Yeah, okay. There's gray. You know what? He was honest. It is in fact gray. So honestly, do you think that his agency, his group, said you got to get out there?
No, I mean it's worth mentioning. You didn't, and that's not a knock, but this was a charity event,
Yes,
a charity that he and Troy Aikman are a part of.
But he didn't have to talk. He didn't. He could have said no football questions at all. He didn't have to bring anything up.
I bet you he did say that. I bet you somebody did say that, and then somebody they got 7 questions in, and somebody said, "All right, let me sneak one in." You know what I mean?
Do you think that's why it was an awkward response because he was unprepared?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a great, actually good job by you. Because I would bet because there was a lot of talk about the charity too, which is again the purpose of why he was there, and a lot of talk about the birth of his daughter. And so this just did feel like a little, just the teeniest bit of give us some toothpaste out of the tube type thing, especially because, he only offered to say that's the most awkward way to put this. Oh, it helps the numbers.
Right. So I want to carry
they
this
got
forward.
an abacus in the back that they're just moving around.
So I want to continue talking about this. But before we do, I do want to give away our Segura tickets. If you want to go, we got them ready. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. You're going to have to pry him out of Edwin's hands. He's a huge Segura fan. I didn't know that, but he is.
Watch out.
So be nice to him because he doesn't want to give him up. Be caller number 5, and you're going to go see Segura on us. Hold on tight. When we come back, we heard from Dak. What do you think it means? Do we need to change our thought process on where and when Dak will sign and how long he will continue to be a Dallas Cowboy? Because confidence is gained by either ignorance or absolute facts, one or the other. He knows something, or maybe he's just ignorant. We're going to talk about Dak and whether he's coming back and whether he believes it'll happen next. This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
John Machota from The Athletic.
Johnny, it looked like the Cowboys, most of the people they were talking to were either defensive linemen or linebackers. Is that where you think their biggest focus is going to be in this draft?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Stephen Jones was here for those workouts, so I thought that was interesting. As I sit here right now, I would say a defensive line, linebacker, offensive line. That seems like where there's the most interest. I throw running back in there as well.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. there is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
We could try to explain what it feels like to get your work done on a John Deere. The way a Z-Track mower finishes in half the time you thought it would. Or how much easier it is to move mountains of soil with the 1 Series tractor. We could even go into detail about how it feels to tow up to 4,000 pounds behind a Gator XUV. But if you really want to know what it's like to run with us, you just have to get in the seat. Learn more at johndeere.com/get-in-the-seat or visit a dealer near you.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Let's go! Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thanks, Jason. He's still fast asleep, but he's dreaming of all the things he's going to talk about. Blitz will get busy today at 2 o'clock. Make sure you are here on time. They will be. Talking Dak Prescott. Tom Segura.
Luis Gonzalez is our one.
There we go. Congratulations, Luis.
Way to go, Luis.
That's a quick on the dial kind of thing. Our morning crew, we try to do it 3 times a week for our morning crew, just so you get a chance. You know, you're people with purpose that you get up and listen to us. Dak Prescott in front of a charity event. 2 of the luminaries there were the Cowboys, Troy. And what was the event itself that Dak and Troy were hosting?
It was their children's, I don't want to get this wrong, foundation. Give me a second. I'll get the exact name. But all for that cause. One moment.
How plugged in do you think Troy is to the Cowboys? I know that, you know, he's kind of like always going to be in the periphery and will always be in conversations with those that are, you know, in the inner circle. But do you think that he is privy to some of the conversations, or do you think he rides the tide just like we do?
It's a children's cancer fund, by the way.
Children's cancer fund.
And I want to say that he and Troy, Dak and Troy, like co-chair events with this, but anyway, I mean, Troy is actively involved.
You think so?
Well, I think Troy is actively kept up on the league. He has to.
Yeah, but I mean, but there's reporting on the league, and then there's being consulted. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that there's anybody that is inside the Cowboys orbit that, you know, like, hey, let's see what Troy thinks?
If there is a person, it's him. Like, if there would be, you know, a phone call made, if there is an opinion that matters, if there's a non-Jones opinion that means anything, it is that of Troy.
I would think so too. I always just kind of assumed that, you know, he was kind of like the conscience of the Cowboys. They didn't go to him for advice on the moves they make, but they did check to see what his reaction would be. Like, does Troy approve? would he approve if he was here? I do think there's a sense there. The word that came out of yesterday, and I'm confident. Dak said he's confident. Should we be confident now that our thinking was not true? Well, true is not the right word I'm looking for. I think maybe we were operating on facts that we assumed to be, appropriate to the general NFL, like the rest of the league. If the rest of the league was in this situation, this is what most general managers would do, but we didn't take into account this is Jerry, and he's going to do it his way, whether it's the right way or not, and he likes Dak, and he's going to sign him no matter what the salary cap ramifications are.
My confidence has been like a sine cosine curve for the majority of this offseason. At the very beginning of it all, it felt like, what is even the point in doing this? Everything sucks. Everything's bad. Our pets' heads are falling off. And then the water stabilized, and it felt like, okay, I'm done, being in my own emotions. The most logical course of action is to extend Dak Prescott. And then all the conversation about culture happened, and everybody was mad, and Jerry said they were going to go all in, and so many people fell for that. And that made things feel a little bit swirly. But then again, the waters kind of receded, and it was a matter of, okay, still, when this is all said and done, they're going to extend Dak, they're going to use the cap space, they're going to go all in, blah, blah, blah. This past weekend was just like when you get woken up, when you oversleep, and, your wife's like, wow, get up. Yeah. You're just like, oh, man, you're just in a cold sweat.
Yeah, what days? What I miss?
Yeah, and these last, I don't know, 5 days have kind of felt like that. Like maybe they're going to F around and find out and not extend Dak Prescott. Yesterday made me feel, I don't think Dak speaks as, I know you're obsessed with the word confident this morning, but I don't think Dak speaks as sternly that it's going to, I mean, he proclaimed it's going to happen. I don't think he says that unless he, is confident that it's going to.
Certainly.
Just given the, the status of the situation.
Hey, Hunter Hitch, I appreciate you. All in. Any little lie is necessary. This is Troy Aikman yesterday speaking to the confidence that Dak will get a deal done.
I don't know. I've been listening to you guys on television and on radio. I mean, they got to do his deal, don't they? Right. They got to free up some money. Right. So he'll be here for a little while longer. He should be. I mean, he's proven he can play at a high level, and I know that they've come up short as a team in the last few years, but he's been a great player in this league, and his best years are still ahead of him.
Troy Aikman yesterday at a charity event with Dak. They co-chaired. It was a children's cancer event. There's both sides of this coin here. I mean, some of it was, well, yeah, I've been listening to you guys, and the numbers tell us this is what they're supposed to do. I mean, that's financially, it's the only wise decision they have left, unless they're just willing to blow this thing up. And he's been good. So I feel like you, that we were looking at this from the wrong perspective, that every Cowboys move always has to be looked at through the prism of what WWJD, what would Jerry do? Not what the league would do, not what an intelligent general manager would do, not what any long-term owner would do, but what would Jerry do? And Jerry would sign his guy. It's his guy. He found him. 4th round draft pick. I brought him up.
I mean, I don't know that I would attribute this to what would Jerry do, because Jerry has had no problem throwing Dak under the bus that he did his interview from.
I agree, but how many guys has he truly got? That's, got to go. I'm over with this.
I don't buy that. Like, I don't buy that they're in on this because he's their guy. I think that they really appreciate what he offers their team, and they want what he offers their team. But I think that they are just dumb, and right. and they go about this poorly, and they think that they can win these negotiations. I mean, name me the player, the star cornerstone franchise player who they have wisely handled the negotiations with. Name it. Name that player in recent memory.
Tyron.
You can. I mean, Tyron is a good answer.
He is literally the only one I can think of that through his entire career, there's never been a problem. He's never been mad.
He's the only one, because they signed him to like a 7-year deal, and it immediately, and it became a bargain and a bargain and a bargain and a bargain. And you would think that they would have learned that. You would think that they would have said, okay, we overpaid initially, so that to earn the right, we paid for the right to underpay for the majority of the life of the contract. And that's what this is. There's no question that when you give Dak $60 million a year or CD $30 million or Micah $30 million a year, that you're going to overpay in the here and now, but you're overpaying now to underpay for the major life of the deal. And they have not understood that. They didn't understand that at any point in negotiations with Dak. He has owned them. He has, do you know the phrase pwned? He has pwned them. I mean, like, he has completely and totally danced circles around them and exposed them for the buffoons they are in this world. Everybody loves to say things like, oh, Jerry's a great businessman. And he is. He is the owner of the wealthiest professional sports franchise in the world. But in this world, this specific world, this sub world, they're so antiquated and awful.
You know, in the business world, I come from a family of lawyers who represent businesses who have gotten themselves in trouble or have been wronged. There's a common axiom that a delay is a win. Any check I don't have to write today, that's a win. I'd just soon hold on to my money until you pry it out of my hands. And most businesses work that way. Hey, it's my money until I give it to you, and I want to have my money as long as I can keep it. And I think that applies to everything that Jerry has done away from the football field. And it's just been a successful mannerism. But in the NFL, you're right. You have to have some foresight. You have to have that 1,000-yard view and see over the hill. You need to know that this guy in 2 years will be underpaid. But today, it's going to feel kind of hard to write the check.
I mean,
and he's never gotten over that.
Take CeeDee Lamb as an example. Spotrac did the Dak Prescott extension last week. They did a CeeDee Lamb extension prediction yesterday that I believe it was 4 years, $120 million. That's insane. I mean, and he's earned
it. Feels it, right?
And they could have extended him last year. And everybody wants to point out, CeeDee didn't want to do it. Yeah, but that's why you overwhelm him. The plan last year was for CeeDee Lamb to be around for the life of a second contract, right? Like, you're not hoping against that. You're not hoping, oh man, I hope he sucks and we don't have to pay him another deal. You're hoping that he performs well. So last year you had to overpay in order to get him to. You have to do something. You have to have them win. You cannot win the annual average value, the life of the contract, the guarantee. You don't get to win everything. And so you have to cave probably on 2/3 of those things at some point, especially if you do it in a future sense. So if the Cowboys had if you had been CeeDee's representation and a year ago they'd come to you and said, dude, we're going to give you $27 million a year, you would have been like, man, this is great. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this now. Instead, the Cowboys challenged him and he put forth the greatest wide receiver season that anybody's ever done in franchise history. And so now yesterday's price is not today's price. And that's applicable to Dak. It's applicable to Micah. It's the way free markets work.
I'm about 7:00. We're doing our silver and black, and I can't wait to talk about it because we got some dollar values we're going to talk about Victor Wembanyama, and where he sits. So you don't want to miss it. But and coming back, we're going to look around the rest of the league. I want to ask you this question, and it just occurred to me. Kids and dogs do about half of what you say, but they do everything in the way you act. They pick up on cues. You can say one thing and do another, and the kids are going to do exactly as you do, not as you say. If I'm a Dallas Cowboy player and I have of some merit, I know there's some money coming my way. Why the hell would I ever deal with you until I forced you to pay me through the nose? I know your modus. I know the way that you do things, and you're not going to want to pay me till the bitter end. So when that comes to, like, I'm a year ahead of contract talks, and everybody's like, well, if you sign now, you might get a great deal. I know that eventually I'm going to hold Jerry's feet to the fire, and he's going to pay me through the nose if I play this right. I saw it happen to Dak. I saw it happen to Zeke. I've seen it happen over and over and over. Just wait him out and force him to pay you, and he always will. So why would I sign early?
Well, the answer would be either an overwhelming offer or you're afraid, or you don't want to bet on yourself, and not everybody does. You know what I mean? Like a bird in hand. You know what I'm saying? Some people are willing to take that. I would just counter your question that I just answered with this other question. Imagine you're Dak, because everybody would be like, oh, Dak should take less money, blah, blah. Okay, so the Dak spoke yesterday at the charity event, literally yesterday morning, literally the morning of the day. It was reported by the Dallas Morning News that the Cowboys are not expected to be active at all in free agency. Okay, all last weekend reports are that they walked back all the all-in stuff, whatever, blah, blah. So you're Dak, and they're saying, we want to pay you less money. And on some level, you're compartmentalizing this. You're saying, okay, well, probably so you can pay other people, right? Like, that's the whole goal,
as
right?
Long as it helps the team, like you said.
Right, but they're not going to do that. So you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you're Dak, like, dude, We want you to take less money, not so that we can do more to help you, but just so that we don't have to do more. You know, like, why would you do that? Who would agree to that? Nobody would. Nobody with a brain would do that. It's insane what they ask of these people.
Hey, coming up, we got some more NFL talk as the quarterback carousel is starting to spin. Do you know where Alpharetta, Georgia is? There's a starting quarterback in the NFL that does. Wow. We'll tell you who that is and where it is coming up next. We're so glad you're with us. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
He's one of those kids that only laughs at real anger. I don't know if you've ever met one of those peaches, but see, most 2- and 3-year-olds, they laugh at manufactured anger. You can go up to a kid that age and just go, rah, and they're like, and this kid's like, I want to see your blood pressure spike, man.
From his multiple Netflix specials, comedian Tom Segura brings his new tour, Come Together, to Frostbank Center Friday, March 8th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
We're here with Jose of the Gomez Law Firm. Jose, tell us a little about what makes the Gomez Law Firm different from all the other law firms in our area.
You know, we pride ourselves as being an open line of communications. We don't have an automated service. You're not going to ever dial our phone number and get some robot on the other line. You're always going to get a person 24/7. Our principal office is here in San Antonio, and we don't only say principal office because our main office is here. We say it because, again, Mr. Gomez was born and raised here, practicing law here in San Antonio in his community for almost 50 years. There are not many attorneys that can say that. If you've been injured, if you've been involved in an accident, you've been involved in a car wreck, call the Gomez Law Firm. We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again, pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote for from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new #1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle. Hey, huddle up with us 3 weeks from Monday. No, 2 weeks from Monday. We're playing golf out at the golf course, Golf Club of Texas. We look forward to our annual spring event every year. We're filling up fast. I haven't gotten an update, but as always, we're about full. Thanks to Flight by Yingling and all those that are a part of it. We will see you on March the 24th out at the Golf Club of Texas. But to play with us, you're going to have to sign up with us. Go to sasportstar.com for all the deets. And we look forward to seeing you out there. And if you play your cards right, maybe RJ will pull out his Bobby Baruch putter and win you something fantastic.
Bobby Baruch.
That's his name? I just stole that from Caddyshack. I don't know what that guy's name is.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's funny that we're talking about Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins in the same paragraph because they're pretty much the same guy. But they're the same guy.
That's all. Kirk is not as bad as, again, you or anybody else is making him out to be.
No,
Kirk
I
and
think
Dak
he's
both
Dak.
deserve more love.
No, I'm comparing. They are the level below the upper echelon in the NFL. Both of them. They're Super Bowl caliber quarterbacks. Both.
Okay.
They are.
Okay. So what about Kirk?
Well, let's talk about him. I'm glad you brought him up. He's imminent to be a free agent, and no one has played the free agency and the franchise card better than Kirk Cousins. If I was an up-and-coming young quarterback, I'd go find his agent. I think that he has handled his career as well as any player has ever handled their career because he's always gotten paid more than he's worth, and he's worth a fair amount. But the guy's made a bunch of money, and now as he's available to move, it appears that his wife is from a bedroom community outside of Atlanta, Alpharetta, if you're curious. And there's some word coming out of the Twin Cities up there that they might be home shopping down there. And we know that Atlanta's looking for a quarterback. And that opens up a whole bunch of other stuff that affects directly our Dallas Cowboys. How was that, RJ?
Well, so Pro Football Talk reported Monday night that the Cousins family was looking into homes in Atlanta, which to your point, 2-2. The Minnesota Vikings then would be in need of a quarterback. They had previously been connected to Trey Lance in the past when he was still in San Francisco. He's from Minnesota, obviously played at North Dakota State, that general neck of the woods. And again, to underscore, they would need a quarterback. So if the Vikings still held a high level of interest in Trey Lance, they could pick up the phone and say, hey, Cowboys, we would love to bring Trey in, obviously, and figure things out. And maybe they do or do not pick up his fifth-year option, but they could at least get Trey Lance to play a season for them. And worst case scenario, place the franchise tag on him next year as a placeholder to work out a long-term deal if things worked out, right? I mean, like, it's being incredibly optimistic here.
And that would save the Cowboys some headache, some controversy, and a fair amount of money.
It wouldn't really save them money. Trey
cap
isn't
space,
on the books.
I'm sorry. Yeah, cap space.
He's not. Well, even then, he's not on the books for much unless they pick up his fifth-year option, which the Cowboys won't, but the Vikings could. And so, but it will help the Cowboys, from a draft capital standpoint, if they're able to trade Trey. It would stand to reason that Dallas would want to recoup their initial investment, which was a fourth-round pick. Minnesota's fourth-round pick is higher than Dallas's original one, but even if it was a fifth-round pick, right, like, you mitigate the loss. You get something back. You have some kind of capital that is, of no offense to Trey, more used to you in the here and now than Trey Lance is. And we get to see, I think as NFL fans, we want to see Trey Lance, just know what that looks like.
And I think at the end of the day, we all want to see him play because I remember him coming out. He and Fields were neck and neck.
Trey out of Trey with Justin Jefferson would be a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Cowboys fan, you are rooting for Alpharetta at Georgia. You are rooting for Kirk and his family to go to Atlanta to help strengthen or help exacerbate the need that Minnesota feels to go out and get their guy who may or may not be Trey Lance.
Russell Wilson is no longer a Denver Bronco. He thanked everybody from the traffic cops to the lunch ladies, but didn't thank Sean Payton on his way out the door. Where do you think he's going to land? What is the most viable spot for Russell as you sit today?
Well, not Atlanta.
Obviously not.
Not Minnesota. I think Vegas just feels really logical.
Mm-hmm.
Russell is a lot, and I don't blame anyone ever for being petty. You know what I mean? If you want to be, because you obviously feel like you have a reason to be. Russ seems, like he is a card-carrying member of Team Petty in this whole Broncos thing. Because, like you said, amid his long goodbye letter, there were some names left out. So how about go to Vegas for the league minimum, stick it to the Broncos, and go beat them twice a year? That would be so entertaining.
He is destined to stay in the AFC West. No matter what he does, he's going to have to stay. Hey, coming back, we're talking some silver and black. Victor needs to clear some more room on his mantle. A new award just came down the pike. And looking around the NBA. Hang around with us. It's going to be a fun time. This is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs in Houston tonight to take on the Rockets. Jason, is it possible they're going to make it 3 in a row?
It's possible.
Wow.
Then again, anything is possible. Like a new contract for Dak Prescott. Dak's confident. What about Shereen Williams' thoughts? Shereen Williams from Pro Football Talk will join us at 5:15 to talk some Dallas Cowboys. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Online only. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor? Try. You want plumbing? LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing. Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring, every step covered.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% when you buy 10 or more select primed finger joint boards. And there's more. Save 10% on your choice of any 5 or more Reliabuilt lock sets. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos, a better, easier way to get term life insurance, all online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos, up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
America's Diamond has never sold lab-grown diamonds, and we warned our clients, friends, and neighbors that wholesale prices would crash to almost nothing. 2-carat GVS2 lab-grown diamonds are currently being traded at wholesale for $264, but some jewelers are still selling them online for $3,000 to $4,000. Repeat, wholesale $264, retail $3,000 to $4,000. Some retailers are selling 1-carat lab-grown diamonds for under $300, and others are giving them away for free with purchase. Lab-grown diamonds are very easy to detect with gemological equipment. Tens of millions of carats are produced in huge factories in China and India, using a tremendous amount of subsidized electricity supplied by coal-burning power plants. America's Diamond has only offered traditional, real, natural earth-grown diamonds that are rare, extremely beautiful, and have had real value for centuries. See our television program tonight on ABC KSAT 12 at 12:35 a.m. or right now at americasdiamond.com.
Now, during Staples Print Big Sale, get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. So the more you print at Staples, the more you save. To demonstrate, print at Staples, you save. But if you print at Staples, you save. See how that works? Staples Print Big Sale. Print more, save more. Up to $100. Ends 4/6. Visit staples.com/print for details.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs look to make it 3 straight as they welcome in the Houston Rockets tonight. Tip is set for 7 o'clock. Victor Wembanyama was named to a second consecutive Rookie of the Month. He averaged 21, 10, 4, 3, and 2. You figure out the boxes. And the Longhorns blew a big lead to Baylor and lost 93-85.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembanyama goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. Easy E driving this boat as he always does. This hour, looking at the Spurs, trying to set a season standard and a standard the likes of which we have not seen since 83 and 84. Tonight, that is an opportunity to tie that. We'll look around the rest of the league, talk Dak Prescott, Troy Aikman, the NFL, and your calls and grievances will follow this hour or in the show. So we get the Spurs tonight, tipping at 7, could make it 3 straight. It's been a long time in coming, but here we sit. But the backdrop we find very interesting. The conversation around Wemby, the flames are kind of heating up on the Spurs. I get a sense that there's a little bit of heat coming from the NBA and the pundits and general managers looking at the Spurs going, you've got that and you're still god-awful. Why? And how should the process play out? Well, that's a conversation we've been having for months. But now I think the rest of the NBA is kind of catching up to where Spurs fans are. Like, why aren't we better? And how long do we have to wait until we're competitive?
It sort of feels like the friend that has something really cool at their house, and everybody's like, why don't you have us over more?
Right.
You have a pool. Like why are we over at Jenkinson's house, all the time? Like, you've got the pool. You should be the one. We'll all bring the food. We'll all bring the potluck, and whatever. So the NBA says, Spurs, we want you to be more competitive. Every Spurs fan says, Spurs, we want you to be more competitive. All of France says, Spurs, we want you to be more competitive. The Spurs are like, guys, y'all don't get it. you just don't understand. This is the way. Well, this isn't the path to Mandalore. This is NBA basketball, and thankfully, the Spurs are starting to figure that out. I do think that they get another win tonight. I think they get 3 in a row for the first time.
I'm feeling it. I do think a third consecutive win is not only possible, but I think it's almost kind of probable given the way that the team has been playing over the last several games, and Wemby in particular. It is Houston, and Wemby in particular over the last 15 or 20. I mean, he just got named to his second consecutive Rookie of the Month award. The Rookie of the Year is foregone. It is a done deal. Even though Chet, whether you just define him as a rookie or not, has had a good year, it's just over. And I think because he's played so well and the numbers that he's throwing up, the 5x5, the new Wemby, is now gathering attention across the country. And we started talking about it last week, at least nationally. Again, everybody's late to our conversation. And we saw the TNT crew with Barkley preaching patience and Shaq and Kenny talking immediate improvement. What are you doing? Everybody in the NFL has a shelf life, and every minute wasted, you're not going to get back. Not everybody going to play till they're 40. They need to step on it. And we heard that from those, and now we're hearing it from the others, the Wendy's, the Wojs, and the others. And they do have differing opinions, but I get the sense, no matter what, that the league and those that matter are leaning on the Spurs. Do something. We can't have this light that is Wemby kind of hidden underneath a bad basketball team that we can't put on national TV during the playoff run because there's better games, although not better talent.
Well, you got all mad about, speaking of Chet, last week's Thunder game not being the national game.
Right.
And I said at the time, somewhat astutely, some would say.
I would say.
How can you blame them? How can you blame TV producers for looking at the Spurs? I mean, today might not be the best example, but for the most of the season, and saying, yeah, Wemby's great, but we don't need this team. Nobody's sticking around to watch Trey Jones. Nobody's sticking around to watch Malachi. As fun moments as they've authored at different times. The reality is they stink, and the Spurs have to make sure that doesn't happen. And that means they have to go out and get other talent. They have to acquire different players. They have to turn their team into not just a competitive team, but a watchable team. That's the reality of who they are now. Is they are a part marketing arm for the league relative to the rest of the world. It's even in that sense. This isn't Wemby LeBron take. It's different than LeBron. Because LeBron was not an international superstar that came in with international prowess the way Wemby has. This has to be acknowledged, and it has to be nurtured. You have to water this plant, Rob. Rob, you got a plant in the backyard. You haven't watered it in 3 months.
I'm planting the shade, and eventually that shade's going to help it. Like 3 years from now, that shade's going to be phenomenal. Right now, that plant's going to have to fend for himself. And that's kind of the way I think a lot of Spurs fans are looking at it. Now, there's two schools of thought. You got a bunch of draft picks. You got some young talent. You got Wemby. Go make some deals. You can get good fast. We've seen it happen. And then the other side is the Spurs tried and true method. And let's listen to Woj, because Woj, we all know who Woj is. He looks at it like the clock is ticking. This is him talking about how quickly they should get moving.
The Spurs can't treat this like a long-term rebuild. You hear
Go
these
on.
organizations, we can't skip steps. They've got to move quickly in putting a real team around him.
Like the sound of that for those of us that are willing to make the move. And I think Woj represents.
Who would not be willing? Like who is that? I don't know this person. This is a Muppet. Like, you know what I mean? That this isn't a real person who you're describing. That's
no,
like,
I think there's a lot of guys that look at this and go, and this is my justification, RJ. And I'm kind of the, there's two different ways you can go. Maybe there's a middle road, but I do look at this like, okay, you've got Wemby, and you've got a little bit of talent, and you've got an opportunity to go do something with these vast. Think of this. The Spurs, as we sit right now, have 5 lottery picks in the next 3 years or 2 years. 2 this year, 3 next. And that Toronto pick might kick from this to next. But next year, if we don't get it this year, it will not be protected. And it could be a number 1 overall, depending on where Toronto's going. So there's
I'm
this
tired
vast
of
bank
could-be's and
account.
would-be's and hypotheticals.
No, you're right. But we watched what Oklahoma City did, and they have slowly grown it. We watched what Denver did, and they have slowly grown it. We watched what Minneapolis and Minnesota did. They slowly grew it. We watched what Milwaukee did. They slowly grew it. And all of them have gotten competitive in a moderate amount of time. I mean, they have managed to do it. But none of them had what the Spurs have in Wemby. The 5x5 is a regular occurrence. Nobody has had that, and we're going to get this on the regular. So you feel like, why waste time? Because you can get good fast.
So I think that there's a teeny bit of merit to what you said, but I push back against most of it. Do you think Giannis doesn't wish that the Bucks had been more aggressive earlier and sooner in his career? I mean, we gave the Bucks a lot of credit for trading for Dame this season. I mean, do you think Giannis, as happy as he was about that, is not of the mindset, oh man, that show would have been nice. You know, like if I hadn't had to carry the show all by myself. Do you think Jokic is not all, hey, you know what? It would have been cool if, you cared a little bit more early in my career. We didn't have to wait this long for this to all finally take. Oklahoma City's kind of a more unique example. I would say Minnesota is in that sense as well. I mean, to go back to LeBron, I mean, a big reason why he left right at the very beginning was because they didn't water the plant. I mean, you cannot just be the arrogance involved to be willing to just burn a year is insane. I mean, to truly say, you know what, we're just going to throw this year away. I mean, with this all-world talent, is this anywhere near the peak version of Wemby? No, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't have been productive. And that, like, none of us are stupid enough to sit here and say, oh man, if you had cared more, the Spurs would be in contention for the title this season. No, but the value of being in the mix and playing serious basketball and maybe being, in the playoffs, and even if you lose the opening series, there is so much more value in that than all the would-be's and could-be's, and maybe Toronto's pick won't be protected next year and it can be ours. I mean, like, that is such a cowardly way of thinking.
I think it's cowardly in a sense that you just don't want to make a move to be blamed for it. And I do agree with that. I think Brian Wright is kind of coming to that situation where you're going to have to be just about perfect to work this.
You got to poop or get off. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's where we're at.
Now, there is one thing that has changed over the years when you bring in superstars. It's not as easy to turn things around, one. And two, players have so much more say in the control of their brand and therefore their career. And Wemby has probably more control over his career and future than any player in the history of the NBA other than LeBron. LeBron came at a time and kind of set the table for what Wemby now has. His brand is as big as the team that he's playing for already. So when you look at what the Spurs want to do, you have to define or take into account what's Wemby's plan. And Woj talked about Wemby maybe dictating this timeline as much as Wright or Pop as well.
I think what this organization said before the season, coming into Victor Wembanyama's rookie year, is he will dictate essentially the timeline. This group will dictate the timeline for how quickly he's ready for speeding this thing up. I think he's delivered that message. This is a player who's going to be, we said this at the draft last year. He's going to be the best player at both ends of the floor by his third season in the NBA. I wonder if that wasn't too conservative. Yeah. And by next season, he's going to win multiple MVPs. He's going to start winning them quickly. And the Defensive Player of the Year award will be retired in his name. No one else is ever going to win this, maybe after this year.
Oh, man, that sounds so good. I love hearing that. But, man, that's far away. That's far away.
It doesn't have to be far away. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mean that in a silly way, but I also think, while I completely agree that Wemby is so much in control, the reality that is ultimately outlined of, oh, well, the Spurs go as Wemby goes, then what do, like, I don't mean this in a literal way, but what do Brian Wright and Pop offer? Like, you know what I mean? If this is ultimately about like, oh, well, everything changed because Wemby was better than everybody thought, then, well, if you didn't properly forecast that, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? If you actually were completely wrong about this whole timeline, then who's to say you deserve the benefit of the doubt relative to assessing the new timeline?
Good point.
And so, you can't just sit here and say, well, we're just going to wait until Wemby tells us what to do. What are you doing then? I mean, what do you do around here?
Right now, thinking back to a year ago or at the beginning of the season, is Wemby where you thought he would be? Is he ahead of schedule? Is he exactly what you thought? Is he behind? Did you think he was going to be a little bit more, which I can't imagine? Where is he in your mind?
I think the effect of the attrition was hard to predict. And I mean, I've never used attrition in a good context because it's just every night. You know what I mean? Every night it's another, how did he do this? How is this possible? This is stupid. This is insane. This is ridiculous, whatever. And so having that happen over and over and over and over again was not necessarily anything I think anybody predicted. I think we all thought that he certainly was capable of all sorts of things. But until you get on the floor and you see it, it all is a dream. But to reach a place where Woj can say something like they're going to retire the Defensive Player of the Year award in his honor, I don't think any of us thought that was possible now.
Right.
I mean, because this isn't just, silly RJ Ochoa or Robbie Tizzle, speaking in the morning here. I mean, this is Woj. You know what I mean? Like, for Woj to go out on that branch is a really significant thing in my mind, not just based on his own opinion, but based on the people he talks to and interacts with. And so, yeah, I think he's over-delivered, and that's where that it only exacerbates how extremely unprepared the Spurs were for actually utilizing him this season.
Well, I think as good as we thought he was going to be, he's been better. As good as I thought Wemby was going to be, he's been better than that, because I didn't expect Wemby to spend the first 2 months of his NBA career playing with Jeremy Sohan as his point guard. I don't think he thought when he started the season that was going to be the way that things were going to go. And he did. And he survived that and improved because of it. I think 2 consecutive rookies of the month is going, I can't imagine somebody else winning it unless we're tired of giving it to Victor. He's filling every box so consistently that the heat is coming. He's better than we thought, and we thought he was going to be great. We knew he was going to be good, but we didn't know he was going to be good. And I think that has sped the timeline up. And Pop deliberately tried to slow it down. So now they're in a position where they got to go do something, because Victor has outclassed everybody that's around him. He's already leapt past them, and now he's having to pull them forward. And to Devin Vassell's credit, and to others, they have kind of followed over the last couple of weeks. Now, again, we're talking about a team that's trying to win its 3rd consecutive game for the first time this season. So it's not like we have made these massive steps forward, but here's where we are.
No, but that's how much they suppressed him, Rob.
Yes.
I mean, that is actually how much they limited him. They literally did the HEB bags on his arms all season long from lack of help standpoint. Like, please, they asked him to carry that much night in and night out. And so that they deserve extreme criticism for this. And I think that that's sort of what this is. I mean, think about what Woj said. I mean, like, it takes no disrespect to Shams, the foremost NBA, the word insider isn't even accurate at this point in time in Woj's career. So the foremost NBA dignitary to go on national television to say, dude, do something. Think about how sad that is. It's one thing, again, for us to sit here and to say it every single day at 7 a.m, which we do on Silver and Black. And if you miss it live, you can go and access it at sasportstar.com and the SA Sports Star YouTube channel. But for him to have to come out and literally spell it out like I do the alphabet for my son, A, B, it's like, okay, you got the superstar. Now you have to surround him with help, and then you have to go win titles. And actually, all this only helps you and makes you better people and furthers your own legends and your own careers. But instead, the Spurs are like, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Zach Collins, hear us out. You know what I mean? Like, just do the thing. Do the thing that literally the whole world is asking you to do.
Well, they're going to draft high again this season. And look, they may not have a choice about where they draft in 2025, not only because of what Wembanyama wants, but because of how damn good he is. He is so good already, it's ridiculous.
They won't be one of the third worst teams in the league and have a chance.
You see it with LeBron. The Cavs never drafted high again because LeBron was so good. It can't be stated enough. All of these things you guys are saying, you choose your words carefully when you describe a prospect, and those are the words you're saying. He has exceeded that hype.
He has exceeded the hype that was, keep in mind, the hype was, we think he's going to be the greatest player of all time. That's kind of what the hype was. We think if he does everything appropriately, he will be mentioned, if not with, above the greatest players ever to lace him up. And 6 months into his first year, we're going, you know what? He's better than that.
And he is dragging the kicking and screaming Spurs front office into relevance and into workmanlike attitude. And they're saying, fine, we'll give you talented players around you if you really, but don't you know that if Toronto sucks next year, we could totally have the next number 1 overall pick. And imagine if we had 2 Victor Wembanyamas.
Because I mean, there's a kid who's in the 7th grade right now that we are scouting. And in 5 years, this guy could pan out. Now, keep in mind, that's the situation we find ourselves. But there is, to the other side of this, the build and prepare. And we've watched Oklahoma City do it. We've watched over and over. We talked about Denver. They took the steps slowly, growing what they have. And there are several other teams that have gotten to title or at least into contention without anything other than time and appropriate drafting and free agent acquisition.
You don't have to do it that way.
Exactly. Listen to what Brian Windhorst says about other teams that have gone through the process, specifically the team that we're going to see tonight.
Here's why this is going to be hard, because the 2025 draft is expected to be much, much better than the 2024 draft. The Spurs have multiple picks right now in the 2025 draft, and especially theirs. And it's going to be very tempting for them to go slow, I think, because, you know, they may spend in free agency and trade, and they may only be able to get, like, look what the Houston Rockets did. Houston Rockets were one of the worst teams in the league last year. They said, we want to get better. They spent a bunch of money. They made a bunch of moves, and they're now in 12th. The Spurs probably don't want to do that. They probably would like to draft high again in 2025. It's going to be hard to do what I think Victor is kind of forcing them to do.
So there's the paradigm they have to deal with. And I think Windhorst hit it on the head. They thought they had more time than they do. So now suddenly the clock has been sped up. It's kind of like an RPP. He's better than we thought he was. So now it's time to adjust the plan. I think coming into it, everything was appropriate. 5 first-round draft or lottery picks in the next 2 years. Let's build, let's find out. And Pop started the season like, hell, this season's a gimme. This is a long practice. So if we're going to treat it like that, hey, Sohan, dribble the ball up. Let's see how it works. Let's see how this goes. Well, suddenly it's working, and now they're like, oh, well, here we go. We're a year ahead of schedule, so maybe those plans we thought we needed to make next year, maybe we fast forward them, but we have to do it with the backdrop of we don't know where those picks are going to land. That Toronto pick we might not get it this year, but if we don't get it this year, it might end up being better next year. So maybe we wait. I don't think they're in a position to wait anymore. I think that now is the time.
It's funny that the list of accomplishments from this season is literally taught Jeremy Sohan how to play basketball. You know, but we talk about how you don't have to do it a certain way. It feels like they're so married to doing it, not just like the process way, but like we have to have all of our draft picks hit. We have to have all of these lottery, and we have to build just a platoon of, you know, Wembies. And no, man, I mean, like, and they're or inability to be able to, and I don't want to say adapt on the fly, because there was nothing they could have conceivably done at the trade deadline that would have made a seismic difference, certainly relative to this season and relative to the long haul. So that's why we were willing to give them into the summer to work on this whole thing. But their potential inability to adapt to the circumstances changing is an indictment of them. It isn't an indictment of it being an RPP. It's an indictment of them as a front office, of them as a team, of them as an organization, of saying, you have to be able to say, okay, look, this dude, what an awesome RPP, to Rob's point, that this dude is a million times better than we could have possibly thought. Wow, what an amazing situation we have found ourselves in. What do we do now?
What you going to do now?
You have to be, we can sit here and we can pontificate and we can speculate and we can, you know, ping and pong back and forth, but we're not the people charged with figuring that out. There are literally a handful of people on this earth who are charged with figuring this out, and you are them. You are the people who have to figure out a way to adapt and to adjust and to ultimately overcome the problem that is Victor Wembanyama being way more amazing than we could have ever anticipated. And I agree with John Dyer in the Brigade Bar. Says I think there's a happy medium. Sign good vets and continue to draft. But a medium at this point would be reaching so galactically far from where the Spurs are at. You have to do something. You have to move. Right. You have to get going. You have to get in the car. That is literally step one right now. And that is so sad, but you have to do that. And if you don't, then you're just going to waste this, and they're going to continue to roast you, and they should.
Keep in mind that right now, Victor is on pace to be the first player to average 20, 10, 3, and 3 since Shaq did it back in 99-2000, and he won an MVP. This is the guy that he has turned into. The clock is ticking, and it's ticking faster than it did just a couple of months ago. I see it. I think the Spurs actually see it as well. And it's a situation, it's a position that the Spurs are very uncomfortable. They've never really had to go make a move. They've never been under pressure to go get something done. Now, it was nice bringing LaMarcus in, but they always had the safety net. Tim was here. Manu was here. Tony was here. So any move was going to be safe. Now it's not safe. You're going to have to gamble.
And it's one thing to gamble, but it's also one thing to gamble when everyone knows you need to gamble, right?
Exactly.
That's what makes it so terrifying is that, and I'm not, neither of us are willing to, are going to say that it isn't terrifying, but dude, that's what makes it fun. That's the whole point of this. That's why that's supposedly what gets you out of bed every day is the chase and the drive and the willingness to take these gambles and peeing into the wind. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to, and this, the good news is you have this, amazing player at your back. If you miss, you will fall safely into the massive hands of Victor Wembanyama.
Coming up, we're going to talk some football as the Cowboys version of Punxsutawney Phil. Dak Prescott made his winter appearance just before we spring forward. He got a new baby in tow. He's talking about his confidence level. We're going to hear from him. And Troy Aikman, the other quarterback that played there in Dallas some time ago. I understand he's actually got a couple of rings, but that's a whole other story. Lots of Dallas Cowboy talk around the NBA before we break. It struck me last night, RJ, that the West is the new East. Looking at the West, I watched Milwaukee come back and beat the Clippers. Milwaukee's there's two good teams in the East. It is Boston and Milwaukee, and the title will be decided between those two dudes. Joel Embiid miracle healing set aside. But I do believe that the East is pretty cut and dried. It's just a matter
Boston, and then it's 30,000 feet, then it's Milwaukee.
Pretty much. So it feels like Boston, much like in the West for years, there's one team over there, and all they got to do is just get to the finals. If they get there, they're going to be ready, and it should be a pretty easy run. Look at the West. My goodness, the Thunder, they lost last night in a last-second shot. They're leading the West. Got the Thunder, got Minneapolis, which is, they're unquantified, but they're certainly better. We continue to look down. Phoenix, we don't even bring them up. Denver, the reigning champion. Do I need to keep going? Phoenix, the Clippers. There are 5-6 teams, all with intentions or at least talent level to win a title. That plays into the Spurs clock as well, doesn't it? Why would be the rush to get great now when I'm still dealing with 6 teams out there that are also really good? Maybe if I played this right, as they decline, I rise.
Well, who are the 2 oldest superstars in the game right now? Right. You've got LeBron and
Obviously.
KD, and they're aging out.
Right.
So, who are the
But Luka's still here, and Anthony Edwards is growing into it. And
Sure. I mean, but, the 2 most inconquerable people who have played it, who have dominated the NBA, your timeline also lines up with theirs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even the non-controllables have worked out for you. To your point, it will never be easy, right? You still have Jokic and Ant, and you got, even if you get through, Jason Tatum isn't going anywhere and Boston's not going anywhere, right? It won't. At no point in time will the other, teams all suck. But this is as easy of a path. This is as conquerable of a path as it has been in the NBA for a very, very, very long time, and you've got to take advantage of that.
What do you think?
Before somebody else, has luck smile upon them the way it did you and does the right thing?
luck always smiles upon those that try. Fortune favors the bold, as I've also been told.
They're not bold.
That's the problem. You are, though. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We will continue our bold efforts to entertain. Hey, coming back on the other side, Dak Prescott speaks, but that's after he went and saw a stylist, got a whole new do, a new shave. He's a brand new man, a new daddy, and he is indeed confident. We'll tell you why he's confident coming up on the other side. We're glad you're with us today. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I hope you woke up this morning and felt good. No pain keeping you from doing things you got to get done today. If that's you, carry on. You're in good place. But if you're like me and woke up this morning with something slowing you down, something that's in pain, you can call a Rosti knowing full well that their only job in life is to get you out of pain. These are highly trained medical professionals that achieved the Rosti certification. They came to this gig already as chiropractors, general practitioners, physical therapists, and the like. This is a tool in a toolbox that helps them fix you. So when you go to an Rosti provider, you get a full evaluation. They're going to figure out what it is. Now, here's what makes a Rosti different. It's not about surgery. It's not about pills. It's about your body fixing itself, and it's remarkably good. It worked for me. Under 4 visits for me with a lower back injury, and if you're dealing with that, go see an Rosti provider. Man, they fix me fast. But if you're dealing with soft tissue injuries, sprains or strains, frozen shoulder, maybe it's plantar fasciitis, maybe you're dealing with that kind of tensions, headaches and pain that starts in the middle of your shoulders and works away and punches you right in the nose, Rosti can help. They're all around San Antonio. They accept most insurances, and you don't need a referral. Write this number down, 1-800-404-6050. The website is Rosti.com. Use it for a map. They have all the providers in San Antonio. I bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are now. Listen, be close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call a Rosti today. They're gonna get you fixed, and when they do, I want you to thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 US Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Rosti. At Rosti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Rosti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Rosti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Rosti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Rosti, we fix pain fast.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear. My life coach has a terrible life. Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I use memes as a coping mechanism.
At Mattress Firm, we know the right mattress matters. While supplies last, save up to 50% on select Tempur-Adapt floor models. All with free and fast delivery. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long, I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyer4us.com.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here, coming up on the Blitz at 2. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he says a deal should most likely get done. What does Shireen Williams think? We'll talk to Shireen from ProFootballTalk.com coming up at 5:15. Plus, the Spurs going for 3 in a row. Can you believe it? They're in Houston tonight. We'll get you previewed up for that as well. RJ, how's your blood pressure, man? You get mad a lot when it comes to these Cowboys.
I think you're the problem, Joe. I think you make him mad. Yeah, I can't wait to hear Shireen, Mother Football, join the Blitz this afternoon and talk about Dak Prescott. You know, that's the topic of the day, as it seems the Cowboys have zigged yet again. Now, we put some words in their mouth. We thought some things were happening that might not have been happening, but certainly the questions remain about Dak. Yesterday, Dak Prescott and Troy Aikman co-chaired or co-hosted an event up in Dallas. It was a children's cancer thing, and it was an opportunity for Dak to see the public and to talk about a bunch of stuff, only part of which was his contract. You know, he's a new daddy, and he got a new haircut. Did you see him? Got a new haircut, got him a new trim. He doesn't have the beard anymore.
With goatee.
Look good. Well, he looked different. Looked like Dak's cousin. Didn't look like him. Looked like somebody in the Prescott family. What's his brother's name? Tad.
I've
never seen Tad. Does he bear the Prescott resemblance?
Have you ever seen Dak and Tad in the same room?
Never, not once. I think one of them just trolls on Twitter.
Well, it's funny you say that, because yesterday morning, before our show started, I jumped on with our buddy Andrew Perloff on his show. And I was asked by, their show's called Maggie and Perloff. Maggie was out. So I was asked by EJ, the filling host. Nobody had noticed this, I thought, except for EJ. So shout out to him, who's their producer. He said, what do you make of Dak's kind of radio silence this offseason? And I said, nobody has really noticed it. Good for you. Like, you know, nope. Dak did not do the Super Bowl car wash, which he has done in years past. He has not, prior to yesterday, hadn't spoken anywhere. Now, some of that could have been attributed to kind of like, I don't know, the like general toxicity surrounding the team.
Or the baby. I mean, he could parse that. Like,
or a majority of it probably in all likelihood was related to, you know,
what's
becoming a father and what was that?
What's the baby's name?
Yeah, he referred to her as baby MJ. So
baby MJ.
So, you know, in all likelihood, mostly that. And I even said that, you know, I said, no, I don't want to make a big deal out of something that might not be even a small deal. But coincidentally, Dak would go on to speak yesterday and didn't really touch on a lot of football, but said enough, I think, to keep things interesting, certainly with the beginning of the new league year now 8 days away. There are fewer and fewer grains of sand in the hourglass. And in years past, I think Dak would have been willing to say something to kind of challenge the team. I feel like yesterday he kind of, you know, towed the company line a little bit. I don't think he stepped out of bounds in any real way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'm definitely confident. Obviously, it helps the team. It's important for the numbers. So I think as I've heard Jerry said that, is Tad helped me out here and told me that part, right? That that is a process. Both sides understand that. Everything's great. And it'll happen.
There's something in there that I do think is worthy of discussion. If it helps the team, it's important for the numbers. Does he realize the situation that he's in? Is he going to, you think he can,
Yes.
Is there any way? No, because he could screw the Cowboys to the wall. He could completely take them to the cleaners.
No. He cannot screw them to the wall. He can completely and totally just demand what's fair.
Well, yes.
It isn't, but it isn't, that's an important thing.
Oh, you're
That's
right.
an important distinction, because people act like he's crooked in all
No,
this.
no. He can take advantage of the situation he's in. I didn't mean it would be in a malicious way. The situation he is in that they have painted him toward was, I can extract a fair amount of money and pain from you if I choose to. Or when he said that, I was like, do you think that he could go at this and go, okay, we're losing Tyron. We're going to have to get a tackle here. We're going to have to pay, and we're going to have to do, and maybe I sign a long-term deal, and let's spread this mayonnaise real thin. So we'll really help you out. Is he going to do that?
But getting a tackle or whatever isn't Dak Prescott's problem.
I know.
The same way it isn't CeeDee Lamb's problem, the same way it isn't Micah Parsons' problem, the same way it isn't Tyron Smith's problem.
Obviously, if it helps the team, it's important for the numbers. If it helps the team, would be for you to take a lot less money.
Okay, so the morning of yesterday morning is probably the better way to phrase that. Yesterday morning, a report came out from the Dallas Morning News. We talked about it here. Everybody can go listen to that, at sasportstar.com and on the YouTube channel. It was a report from Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News, who we respect greatly around here, and it was his 5 takeaways from the NFL Combine. Number 1, literally numero uno, was to prepare for modest free agency from the Dallas Cowboys, that they were not going to be going all in, at least in the way that is generally associated with that buzzword phrase that Jerry Jones chose to use himself a month and change ago while at the Senior Bowl. So if let's say you're Todd France for a moment, put your Todd France hat on, Rob. You're Dak Prescott's representation. Say you were feeling generous. Say you were feeling, you know what? Dak told me he wants to help the team out, whatever, blah, blah. And you're drinking your morning cup of coffee. You're listening to the Morning Huddle, and you're saying, hold up, wait a minute. The Cowboys don't plan to be active in free agency. Why would we give then? What for what reason? And when have they ever shown a willingness to do that? Even when they had Dak Prescott for pennies on the dollar on his rookie contract now 6-7 years ago, they were not active then. So in what universe have they earned the benefit of the doubt to be believed that they're suddenly going to go out and go on this flurry of spending relative to free agency, especially when they told us literally yesterday that they weren't going to do that? I mean, this missed me with this whole like Dak should do this for the team thing.
But it feels like Dak's reacting. It feels like it scared him. That Dak looked at this and thought, these dudes might just cut me. These dudes might not cut him. These dudes might just let me walk away.
No, they're going to let me walk away into a free market.
I don't know what Dak's brain is. He's got enough money now that, it's just about legacy. From now on, he's got enough money that it's all about legacy. And if legacy involves a Super Bowl, wherever he ends up, it ain't going to be a better place as far as preparation and readiness for a Super Bowl, I would guess. It just appears, first of all, we didn't expect to hear from him when he shows up. And then he shows up saying, if the numbers are good, and I'm confident a deal is going to get done, when literally the same guy we're talking about, Gelkin's like, not only do we not expect active free agent market, we're not even sure this Dak Prescott thing is a foregone conclusion. That Gelkin also said that.
I mean, I'm with you. I think what Dak did yesterday was generous. The fact that Dak did not strong arm things, that he didn't screw them to the wall or anything like that, yesterday was, I wouldn't even call it an olive branch, because that would suggest that there was, a lack of harmony. Yesterday was Dak being a good ambassador for the team. In fact, Jerry Jones, if we just simply look at the court of public negotiations over the course of the last week, what did Jerry Jones come out and do? Jerry Jones, I don't know, man. Trey Lance, he's a lot better than we thought he was going to be. And we don't have to extend Dak Prescott. We have a plan in place. We can go at 2024 if we don't extend Dak. And then look at those comments, which were literally 5 days ago, and compare them to Dak Prescott saying, I'm confident this will get done. Jerry said it's going to get done. Think about which side of that you trust more. Think about which side of that you're willing to put your trust in. You're willing to, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't a contest to me. If you want to side, it's not even about the man, but if you want to side with the man on this, like, good for you, dude, because these dudes are batting -1,000 relative to integrity in these kinds of conversations. What Dak did yesterday was I wouldn't call it noble, but it was a far more noble thing and a far more noble act, a far more meeting in the middle thing than what the Cowboys did to him and what they've done in the court of public negotiations over the course of any negotiations they've had with him.
Now, do you believe it was out of the goodness of his heart that he is being magnanimous in what, I'm going to help this team win. I don't want to go anywhere. Or do you think it was a reaction where somebody told him, look, man, you're going to have to come to play ball or these guys might do something stupid. They will literally throw the bathwater and the baby out if we're not careful.
I do think he's probably been told that they're not above doing something stupid.
Right. I mean, and stupid would be the appropriate term.
Right. But I don't know that I would also say that this was just out of the goodness of Dak's heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he stands to gain incredibly financially from them doing the not stupid thing.
And that's one thing. We have to remember is the money, he's going to get it. It's just a matter of how and by whom.
It's a matter of whether it's this year or next year and whether it's coming from the Cowboys bank account or somebody else's bank account. But this idea that, he should take less because they're going to do this or what, they literally said that they weren't. And there are still people who believe that they will. I mean, it's amazing to me that so many people are willing to fall for it over and over and over. Lucy's going to pull the ball on you, people. I mean, you're not going to get to kick it this time. And so, and that's just from integrity standpoint, as mentioned. Dak is also a great player, and we can have this conversation and go round and round in circles over and over and over again, and people will definitely do that. But think about who's operating fairly here.
Mm-hmm.
Think about who's operating even just, maturely here. Again, Jerry Jones of his own volition went on this, diatribe about Trey Lance last week and how great he's looked and all sorts of stuff. Is Dak out here saying, there's a lot of teams who are going to be in the quarterback market both now and in the future? He didn't do that.
Hey, coming back, I find this little part of the negotiation and I find this fascinating. We're going to continue talking about Dak Prescott, his future with the contract, if it's going to happen now or he's not to play for it. But coming up, $600, an avatar, and a free game. Arch chose no. We'll tell you what that means coming up. You gamers, this matters. We'll be right back. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
John Machota from The Athletic joining us. You mentioned Dak. Do you find it normal or a little odd that they're apparently not going to meet with Dak's representatives there in Indianapolis?
I don't think it's odd just because of the fact that his representation hasn't changed since the last contract. And so they know where everything pretty much stands. It's about this is where we want to be, this is where you want to be. You want to give a little bit? Are we going to give a little? Or are we going to wait this thing out like the last one where in the end, Dak got pretty much everything you could want?
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
I had missing teeth, I had crowns, I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning and see my teeth in a container.
At Doctors Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-hour smile.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or hiring someone to move your piano instead of doing it yourself. So, do things the better way. Bundle home and auto and save up to 25% with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We got stuff to do today. The legend of NCAA football has grown over the years, and anybody who was a part of it back in the day remembers it as the greatest sports game ever put together. Madden's had its ups and downs, but Dynasty mode in college football was the greatest invention for any sporting game ever. And anybody who was in it back in the late 8s and 9s and 10s and 11s remembers the greatness that was NCAA college football. It's coming back. And what killed it is going to help bring it back is the players needed to get recognized and paid for their likeness, the NIL. That was the beginning. Well, it's coming back, and right now, according to EA Sports, 87% of the 11,000 or so Division I football athletes have already opted in to the EA deal to use their name, image, and likeness. It's $600 and a free video game. I'd have done it in a heartbeat. Are you kidding? I get to be in a video game? I'm in. Arch Manning said no. I'll opt out. Didn't want the hassle. Didn't want to deal with the headache. No, distraction is what the Manning camp called it. You mad at it?
I do not believe in having an opinion on telling a kid what he should do or how he should live his life.
But would you have done it? I don't care who you are.
Yeah, I would have done it. And I will say the not wanting it to be a distraction thing smells like a lot of baloney. That's the only part of this that I have a strong opinion. It's just not cool, and it's not like he's not cool. It's just the move is not cool.
So
here's, come on,
a little behind the scenes. I spent some time over at EA, and I actually know the dude that assigns the values, that gives you your rating, speed, all the different ratings. The dude. And it's really one guy. There's a committee and there's scouts and all that go into it, but numbers don't lie. Your 40 is your 40. But I've been with I was going to say his name, but I guess it doesn't matter. I've been with Donnie out at NFL events, and your rating, it matters, man. I mean, guys got mad. There was literally like a complaints booth. Like, man, I'm better than this. My hands are better. All these other things. He got it all the time. So if you're a 19, 20-year-old kid, and we are going out and we're going to get your measurables, and EA is going to do that. They're going to go time everybody in the 40. They're going to know everybody, those that are going to play a role. They're going to know what their stats are. And suddenly Arch's arm doesn't quite grade out to a 95 NFL-ready arm. It grades at whatever. Or maybe his 40 isn't quite such that. Well, then it would be represented in the game. And I'm a Texas fan. I'm playing Arch, and I realize real quick, this dude doesn't really have the arm, at least according to this game, to run this play. So he doesn't look as good. I'm not saying it's scouting, but what I'm saying is I get it if I'm Arch. Like, I just don't want to have to deal with this.
Wow. So your take isn't the popular take is Arch is leveraging more money from EA to be in the game.
Oh, it's
your take is he doesn't want the potential negative reputation from this.
Yes, exactly. Because I've seen how players react when they come in and like, you're getting my speed. What are you talking about? I run a 4.3. Like, no, you don't. Well, I did 3 years ago.
This is an interesting opinion because, look, Arch is in ways that is different for most college football players. Arch's number one goal is to get to the NFL. Right, like,
and not to get rich because he's already rich.
Right, like to be the number one overall draft pick in the NFL. And once that happens, everyone involved can take a sigh of relief, right? Because the goal has been accomplished. Then they breathe, and a new series of goals is laid out. But so everything that is happening now is all happening in the direction of that goal, and that's a great point because in generations, literally 2 generations of college athletes haven't had to deal with being in the game. And I would argue a big reason why current generations of, humans regard people like Reggie Bush the way that we do is because he was in the game, because he was amazing. Yeah, because he was awesome. And so if Arch is not awesome and the game reflects that, the national worldwide opinion of Arch is that he's kind of a stinker. And that affects his reputation on the path to the NFL.
I agree, man. Suddenly
Rob had it, the professor in the office with the lead pipe. Great job, buddy.
Because it's one thing for you and I to talk about Arch's arm strength and what he can do on the field and what kind of offense he'll flourish in. It's an entirely different thing when your 13-year-old son going, Arch sucks. He can't throw the ball on the 10-yard out. Every time I run that play, he gets picked.
Wow. Dude. Wow.
So that it does matter. And you don't realize how much the players really care about that,
because he doesn't stand to gain from the benefit that it offers most players who are
$600 is $600 when I was in school. Who do you want me to kill?
Even from a likeness standpoint, though, like just being in the game, have people know who, like everybody knows who he is already. That's a different. Wow. That's why they pay this guy the big bucks.
Well, I mean, it is. They are now professional athletes and is slowly becoming everything that a professional athlete is and dealing with all the problems with that, too. I mean, you put your name out there and there is a quid pro quo. They give you money. You're going to have to put your likeness out there. And sometimes you don't have a lot of control over that.
Rob, I am highly impressed. Dude, this was well done. This was, you know what this was like to me? This was when Lieutenant Colonel Slater asked the woman to dance and did the tango on the floor. This was that. Like the whole time I felt like Charlie watching this, like, wow, how's it do it? And like you were just like, just give me the latitude and longitude, give me the coordinates, give me the dimensions. You were just out there like smooth, man.
Well,
and then with the hula at the end. Holy crap, that was awesome.
We're rolling. Hey, we got 2 more hours of fun. We're coming at you like Alex Morgan, angry at a Colombian soccer player. Did you see that?
She had every right to be.
Go ahead, Alex. Take her out. Canada's up next, and we got them 53-4 in this past matches. The women are back, and they're mad. Hey, we got a lot to do coming on the other side. We're going to look at the Spurs as they are back in business. The Rockets are on the docket, but it is the pundits that have made news. Are the Spurs acting appropriately given the situation they now find themselves? It appears things have fast-forwarded. That's coming around the bend as well. Troy Aikman speaks. He talked about whether Dak's deal would get done, and Dak did too. That's all coming in the next hour. Hang around with us. We got a lot to do. This is the Morning Huddle, and you are on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 'Tis the season, my friends. The madness is here. We call it March, and Twin Peaks is doing everything this month the appropriate way. You know when the games begin, starting early on that Thursday, well, actually on the Wednesday night before, in just a couple of weeks, that every game you want to see will be at Twin Peaks. And while you're there, heck, have yourself some fun. You know, Fridays during the Lenten season, we're all chasing some good fish, and here we go. Grab your beer-battered fish and chips for a light and fresh fare on every Friday that never skimps on flavor at Twin Peaks. The batter, well, it's beer, and it's served with great tartar sauce, malt vinegar, and French fries. Score them along with an icy cold 22-ounce Miller Lite or Coors Light for $12 every Friday through Easter. Or grab them a soda or a tea just to keep it nice and cold for $10. Twin Peaks, they're taking care of you during when the madness begins. Watch all the games there. 4 locations in San Antonio, from west to east, 151 and 410. De Zavala, you know that's my home field. Park North and a brand new locale over on IKEA Lane. Head over to Twin Peaks today. The eats are always spectacular. The drinks are icy cold. The TVs are tuned to what you want to watch, but why do you go? It's so easy. It's those scenic views.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 US Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's properties to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patients active with no downtime, and getting back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I am James, Senior Apparel Designer, and this is Behind the Design with Hawks. Hawks is your classic workwear brand. It's designed for those guys that are on the job site. Just driven performance, just rugged and comfortable. Thinking of durability, everything is either double, triple stitched, bar tacked. It's build durable. It's going to perform. It's going to move with you. It's going to have everything that you need in a product. Hawks, only at Boot Barn.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the Spurs get busy again, trying to prolong a long win streak for the Spurs anyway. 3 games is on the docket. Let's see if they can take down Houston tonight. Tip is set for 7 o'clock. Victor Wembanyama is questionable with a left shoulder soreness. He is currently carrying the Rookie of the Month award. It's his 2nd consecutive month winning such things. He did it averaging 21, 10, 4, and 3.
How good you want to be? From play 1 to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Gather around. We got something to talk about. He's RJ. I'm Rob. We combine for the Morning Huddle. Easy E drives the boat. We got 2 hours headed your direction. Lots of Cowboy talk as Dak Prescott came out of hiding. Well, no, came out of the baby's room after changing a couple of diapers. Talked about his current situation. Troy Aikman reflected on that as well. We're going to hear from both this hour. Wemby might have a little sore shoulder, but he is carrying around another award. He just was given a 2nd consecutive Rookie of the Month award. I believe he will get the Rookie of the Year. He'll end up probably 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year voting, although if he continues this streak, he might actually win this. And we're going to hear from a couple of knowledgeable NBA types about where the Spurs sit. Let's talk some NFL real quick. And we're talking Dak Prescott a lot today because it seems like the narrative has changed over the last 24 hours. We were hearing from the Dallas Morning News that the Cowboys might be sitting on their hands not only in the free agent market, but might be kind of waiting this Dak Prescott thing out. Maybe an extension might not have been as imminent as we thought. Yesterday, Dak Prescott and Troy Aikman co-hosted an event up in Dallas, a children's cancer event, a worthy cause that those two have worked together. And were interviewed afterwards. And now we've had some discussion. Was this an impromptu thing? Was it just something that those two happened to be out there and there was media and they just kind of talked to it? And judging by the background noise, I get that sense. But the timing I find so remarkably interesting, RJ, because the last week has been a lot about the Dak problem and what are the Cowboys going to do about it. And it seems like there was a reset yesterday. There's no problem here. That we're confident that what we were talking about even before the loss to Green Bay and directly after is still going to happen. An extension will be involved because it's the best financial move long-term for the Cowboys. Are we back to that, or is this just some more smoke and what is going to be an ongoing negotiation period?
We're at the time of year where everything anybody says is subject to incredible interpretation, right? And subject to incredible analysis and breaking down and Zapruder filming. And I don't know that Dak Prescott really offered much of that yesterday. I think that Dak was pretty simplistic and pretty straightforward and pretty black and white. The marriage of two, which is gray, his favorite color. I think that yesterday, if you're on the other side of negotiations, right? If you are the Cowboys and you therefore you're trying to win the deal, I think that Dak said words you really like on Monday, and that's a rare thing at this time. You know, with tensions seemingly this high relative to negotiations over millions and millions of dollars.
He was asked where his altitude is. Dak said he's well, he'll tell you he's confident.
Yeah, I'm definitely confident. Obviously, it helps the team. It's important for the numbers. So I think it's Jerry. I've heard Jerry said that. Cat having over here and told me that part, right? That that is a process. Both sides understand that. Everything's great. I know it happens.
everything's great. He's confident. It's process. Things are moving right. Nothing to see here.
I mean, this is a simple thing, right? Like, if you want to keep him, you've got to make him the highest paid player in NFL history in some respect. There are three core elements to contracts of this variety, of this type, right? Massive, franchise changing contracts. There's the length involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's the annual average amount of money, and then there's the total guarantees. And the Cowboys want to win all of them. They're probably maybe only going to win one of them. And they won none of them last time around, which is why we're here in this moment having this conversation. And they further screwed themselves by restructuring him and restructuring him and restructuring him. In case anybody hasn't been paying attention, I will tell you straight up, because I care about you. The last 2 years have seen the Dallas Cowboys purposefully restructure because they knew they were going to extend him now.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do those restructures for no reason, off the seat of their pants on a whim. It's off the seat of their pants, right? That expression's always been
weird. A little weird.
But so they restructured him with the full, absolute, conscious intention of restructuring him right now in of extending him right now in 2024. And all he did in the season leading up to it was have his best individual statistical season, finish second in MVP voting. Yes, had a horrible performance in the playoffs, like literally everybody else involved, but that we're sitting here and we're arguing and we're debating like this is even a debatable thing is ridiculous and silly and proof that we've really jumped the shark on this whole subject.
So last Friday, Jerry was up in Indianapolis for the Combine, was sitting on the bus, and he was asked about this all-in thing. And we're going to hear from Dak on his thoughts. But, this all-in thing that we heard from Jerry soon after the Green Bay playoff loss has taken on a life of its own. So Jerry was asked this question: can you be all in without a Dak extension? And this was his response.
Absolutely, I do. Yeah, yes, I do. And because what is the all-in approach? The all-in, I'm not going all in if I don't get an extension. A situation like that.
Where do you stand with?
You just have to adjust where you're going, how you're going all in.
So you can be all in the pool. You can be all in standing in the yard. You can be all in walking in the door. If you're all in, you're all in.
You're manning the grill.
You're all
inside.
in.
You're eating chips and salsa. We are all in somewhere. Like, if you think about it, Rob, at this moment in time, we are all in somewhere. The people listening are all in somewhere. The people watching are all in somewhere. We're also all out of other places. All in is a state of mind.
Right.
Baby.
See, we've been reading this all wrong. You got to be 100% of where you're at. You got to be all in. And the idea of parsing these words is really kind of taking on a life of its own, because Dak was asked about, what does all in mean to you? If all in can mean something to Jerry and you're not included in the all in, what does it mean to Dak Prescott?
Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah, I'm excited to see it, honestly. I don't know. I can't say I've had talks with them about what is all in and how you plan on making this move. So, yeah, let's see. I'm excited for it.
Maybe you should. That all in might involve you.
That was goatee Dak. That was the most goatee Dak thing that we heard the whole day long. That was the most attitude that he had. And all the other answers were party line, and then there was just the teeniest bit of disgust, right? I don't know, man. We got to see what all in means. You got to go all in with all these players. I mean, Dak's buddies with Tyron, Dak's buddies with Tyler Biadasz, Dak's buddies with Michael Gallup, and all these dudes seemingly going to be on the way out. And so good for Dak holding Jerry's feet to the fire, because nobody seems willing to do that in a public setting except for you and me.
If you're all in, I'm here.
I love you to Beto's comment in the Brigade Bar. Need the new goatee Dak jersey. I mean, yeah, dude, this was you have generally seen more television shows than I'm willing to give you credit for. Have you ever seen Community?
Of course.
There's when Abed becomes evil Abed, he puts like a felt goatee on, and that's what yesterday felt like. It felt like Dak was like, you don't want to see me when I put
the to me, it was kind of like the Bizarro Jerry. It was Bizarro Dak. Suddenly Dak got mad. Suddenly Dak, that was more than confident. That was angry Dak Prescott. Now, there might be a reason why Dak is a little angry. He might be a little sleep deprived. He does have a brand new baby born last week, the last day of February in the leap year. Little baby MJ.
Congratulations to Dak and his family. I mean, that's seismic thing, and I mean, I know people feel different ways about this, but he's got a literal legacy now to fight for, right? Like beyond anything that you can think of, like, oh, my future. You've got a baby at home, and I know people think like, oh, he's made all this money, but your life and your priorities and your approach to things change significantly the moment that baby is here.
He's a new man.
And so,
now.
Yeah, always got to go T. I mean,
well, no, seriously, and I'm not being flippant about it. I do believe that when you have your first child and you're in a situation where you've got a long-term partner in the child rearing and you've got you're feeling stable, suddenly legacy comes to mind. Before the child, you're just a human being with no attachments, and suddenly now you're doing things for somebody else for long-term, safety and sanction and love. I do think you're a new man, a different person, and your priorities do change when you add a child to the mix. So he doesn't know what that is yet right now. If he's like any dad, he's dealing with just being a new dad, though it's probably a little bit easier being Dak new dad than it was for you and I new dad. But he's been dealing with diaper duty a little bit anyway. Yeah, he's been kind of a dad you'd like to think over the last 4 days. Don't you think he's got 2 a.m. duty?
I know that this is super predictable, so for that I apologize because I hate when people do this. But do you think before he changed any diaper, he did the here we go? Yeah.
Well, he talked about
baby MJ's like, dude, it's just a diaper.
Here we go. He talked about his diaper duty.
Yeah, I feel different. I guess, especially, you wake up in the morning, you see that baby, you understand the responsibilities and everything that I've always wanted for myself, but to want that for somebody else even more. It's special. And baby's doing great, mama's doing great, everybody's healthy and at home, and we're blessed.
He says he's changed the diaper a couple of 3 times.
I mean,
hey man, if I could have handed that duty off to somebody else, if I could have paid somebody to do that, I'd have paid him.
Well, he's in the phase right now. There's probably a lot of family around, and they're like, "Let me do it. I'll do the." And he's like, "Okay."
When 3 weeks, when he's showing up for practice in a vomit-stained shirt, bleary-eyed.
Well, also he's like, you know what? Whoever family thinks you want to change that, I'm going to go negotiate a $60 million deal or $60 million a year deal. So y'all do that. I'll do this, and then in a little bit we'll all come back together and we'll celebrate because he's going to get this money. Whoever you are, wherever you are, however you are. I don't care if you're the most goatee wearing duck-headed there is. He's going to get this money. It is either going to be this year from the Dallas Cowboys, next year from the Dallas Cowboys, or next year from somebody else. Dak Prescott, before April of 2025, is going to make $60 million per year. Somebody is going to write that check.
At 9:00, we've talked about what's best for the Dallas Cowboys. We think, what's best for Dak Prescott? What would be the best thing that could happen for him, whether with the Cowboys or not? Maybe that's the consideration we need to look at as they try to negotiate a deal to keep him around long term. We're going to talk some more NFL just around the corner. We're waving goodbye. Well, we aren't, but Denver is. Russell, we barely knew you, and evidently he doesn't even remember who his head coach is. He said goodbye to Denver. We're trying to figure out where he's landing. And there's a quarterback in Minneapolis whose move might affect the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to look around the NFL next and see where the dominoes land as we're headed toward the illegal, legal, non-tampering. You can talk to them, but you can't pay them, period, in the NFL. The dominoes are moving, and we'll talk about it next. Hang here. You are 94.1, and this is San Antonio's Sports Star. When you wake up every morning, you've got a Connecticut water softener. It's one of those things that I know you probably didn't think about it. I know it's something I didn't think about until I get to tell you about it, because a Connecticut is just one less thing, You put a Connecticut in your house, you don't have to worry about so much of the stuff that happens to you every day. You don't have to worry about the stuff clogging up your pipes. You have to worry about that white stuff on your dishes, on your hair, and on your skin. You don't have to worry about what you're drinking. You don't have to worry about a weird smell. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It is as things are intended. That's why a Connecticut is so valuable. It's one less thing, and you have the very best thing at it. See, Connecticut is designed and manufactured with San Antonio, South Texas in mind. The water coming out of our aquifer and wells, it makes some good light beer and some excellent sweet tea, but I'll tell you what, you don't want what's in that water on you or in you. And that's why a water softener is so important. And Kinetico is manufactured and designed for just such problems. It doesn't plug in. It works off kinetic energy. It's going to save you salt. It's going to be the best water softener you've ever had. And they want to prove it to you. The Knipa's been around San Antonio a long time. They know they got to prove it to San Antonio. So here's what they've got for you. Right now, you call them today at 656-PURE. They'll come out and put a Kinetico, yes, the very best you can find, in your home for 90 days without a penny on your end. Not a commitment either. They're going to let you figure out what so many of us already know. It's the best you can have. You might as well go ahead and buy it. And once you get it, it's going to be the last water softener you're ever going to own. Dial 656-PURE. Get them to come out today. For all the details, go to KineticoSA.com. Listen to me. Kineticos are made and designed in San Antonio, are made and designed for people in San Antonio and South Texas. What are you waiting on? Call 656-PURE today. Have a Kinetico put in your home, and I know you're going to thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A four-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of four can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
The Jim Rome Show.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio.
Weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle. He's RJ, I'm Rob. We got a job for you. If you haven't signed up for the golf tournament, go now. SASportsStar.com locale. It's easy. You got 4 of you. $400, save you some money. We're playing in 3 weeks from Monday, Golf Course Club of Texas. You know where it is. It's a great track, and I'll tell you what, the rains have helped us. The weather's been fantastic. We will expect a glorious day all fueled and funded by Flight by Yingling and many others. It'll be a golf tournament followed by an after party, full of fun and hijinks. We can't wait to see. It's one of those great events. We get to see everybody and hang out. Come see us. That's the 24th. The way you do that, go to sasportstar.com to get yourself signed up. Spurs playing again tonight, and a record could fall. Well, it could be. Tonight's the tying, right? We will join the Los Angeles Lakers of 84-85 as the only team to have gone 120 consecutive basketball games. It had 20 or more assists. That used to be a cool record. Now the Spurs just say, well, it's something to be had, and we could get it tonight.
That's correct. The Indiana Pacers. So the record is 120 games, the streak, that is. And so the Spurs can tie it tonight. The Pacers are sitting on 116. So they can join this rarefied air, sometime next week themselves, but we don't care about them. We've been having some fun, and for what it's worth, the Spurs can take the record outright on Thursday in Sacramento if they get there tonight, obviously. And we've been having a lot of fun with this for, I don't know, a couple of months now. So I put it to you, to use a Robism on Rob. How much does this mean to you?
Nothing.
Like as a Spurs
absolutely nothing.
Wow, Grinch.
If the Spurs were on some kind of streak where they had been winning and this was just another representation of what they have been doing. I remember a couple of years back when they were good and the Spurs had an opportunity to close out
You've brought this up,
a season with undefeated at home. They were 41-0 coming into the last home game. And we had a little bit of a debate. Is it worth risking injury? And it turned out it would have been because they didn't win the title that year. But was it worth chasing something that could be something undefeated at home? That doesn't happen. 41 times at home. They had a chance to get it, and they didn't. They ended up being 40-1 at home, and they didn't win a title, so they ended up with nothing to hang their hat on. I would have liked to have been on a team that didn't lose a home game in front of my fans. I would have been proud to have said that. They decided it wasn't worth the effort. I don't know if it's worth it now. You know what I mean?
I think you're being way too hard on, and we were very hard on the Spurs already this morning, but I think you're being way too hard on them. Let me rewind that. You're not being a good fan, and I'll say it that way because this is cool. And,
it is.
And for some context, so these are the Showtime Lakers. All right, that the Spurs are on the precipice of joining the company of. Do they have a title? No. Have they won a lot of games? No. I mean, consider that of the 120 games that the Lakers did this in, that they won 94 of them. And so
wow.
So we think the Spurs are going to win tonight, right? We're willing to say that?
I'm comfortable in saying they have a better chance than they have.
So they will have won 30 they will have won a fourth of the 120 games. And I understand that we're anxious for that to change. But we can be a fan in a different way right now and appreciate this. Rob, there are only 3 teams that have gone at least 100 games in a row doing this. The Spurs are already one of them, and so are the active Pacers, by the way, what a bunch of losers. Right? We already waxed them. But that's cool, man. I mean, these are the other teams who are in that same vein. So, like, just going in descending order as far as, like, the streak volume. Showtime Lakers, active Spurs, active Pacers, Bad Boys Pistons, 80 Celtics. I mean, so we're the top 5 teams outside of the active 2 are the top 3 before outside of the Spurs and Pacers are legit. I mean, these are some legit teams.
But we're not.
That accomplished.
But the Spurs are not.
This is cool. I mean, just enjoy it. Why can't you say, you know what, that's a cool thing they did that happened in conjunction with a lot of crap, but it was a cool thing that happened.
I will admit this, because I think this is as dumb a thing as we could be following. But it is a testament to the coach that you managed to put together a team as bad as they are and as bad as they have been. They still managed to share the ball to an extent that they're up on a mountaintop with teams that were doing the same thing but managed to win titles.
That's a great positive spin.
That's the best I can come up with. It really is. And it's kind of the situation that the Spurs are going to find themselves in, because they're going to have to do the best they can come up with right now, because things are better with Wemby than they thought they were going to be. We're further ahead, excuse me, When I think, in fact, Pop began this season with air brakes on, with speed controllers, with dampers on. They didn't want Wemby to get so good so fast because there was a timeline, a plan that involved Wemby's progression and the other guys' progression. And when it came time to the end of this season, they would draft appropriately, add another brick in the wall, and maybe get another little free agent. And the following year, we're going to grow into it. And the process would culminate in some future date. Well, guess what? The guy that you drafted that we thought was going to be the greatest player that ever laced him up by the time he was done, he's ahead of schedule. He is better than we thought.
Chess, not checkers, right? And tell me that Pop has never been playing chess and we've all been playing checkers before. Pop perfectly timed Wemby's ascension to global, unattackable superstar with the Spurs breaking this record. Spurs are going to break this record this week, and cool, now it's ours, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore. Watch them break the record on Thursday night in Sacramento and then lose. Or not lose, but
right.
I mean, because they lose a lot. But I mean, then the record slips away. We're going to get this record, and then we don't need it anymore. And we need Indiana to knock off and chill out a little bit, too, because we need this thing all to ourselves.
Let me ask.
This is cool. This is a cool thing. Don't be a grump.
This is kind of an RPP. No, we're not rich. But this is the Spurs are in a situation where they're going to have to make a decision that they didn't think that they were going to have to make for a minute. They thought they were going to have a year by design, that things were going to be a progression. Now, the powers that be, the voices that matter around the league, the Wojs, the Wembys, the Lows, I think there's starting to be an echo of what's being talked about up in Fifth Avenue at the headquarters of the NBA. Because Wemby has shown the last couple of times that when he steps on the court, a camera needs to be on him and people need to be watching him play because he's doing things that will never be done again. And I think the greatest regret by anybody who's ever been affiliated with the NBA is there is no video. There is nothing to show us Wilt get 100 points. All we get from that is him holding a sign saying, hey, I got 100 tonight. Nobody will ever know it unless I show you. Well, Wemby's doing things in kind of silence right now. He's doing them only in front of the Bally crowd and in front of the ESPN top 10s. And the NBA would like to sell the Wemby performance for 2.5, 3 hours a night, 3 times a month from now on, and the Spurs aren't good enough to justify that. So now the guys like Woj and Windhorst that kind of reflect the NBA back to its fans are starting to go, why aren't you guys better? You should be front and center. We should have seen the Oklahoma City Spurs game the other night on national TV, but you're not good enough to justify it. So what are you going to do? Where are you headed? Because Wemby's going there. It's just a matter, are you going to lead, follow, or get out of the way of where Wemby is going?
I think that's really well said, and I really am grateful for the NBA insiders in a way that I had never have been before. I mean, I've got all their alerts, and they fill my phone all day long, every single day. But that they are now doing our dirty work for us. It's not even dirty work, doing our work for us, that they stopped short of outright begging Brian Wright to just do something. I mean, they went that far. I mean, they were almost, as blunt as saying, dude, you got it. It is the office meme. Jim in the actual manager's office telling Michael Scott, you cannot just sit there. You have to do something. And now it's not Michael. Now it's David. What's his name? David Scott. David, the big boss, corporate boss. David.
4.
In the office, the corporate boss, David Wallace.
Yeah,
David Wallace has come in, and David Wallace is telling Michael Scott, you've got to do something. Michael Scott is Brian Wright in this situation.
Well, listen to Woj. This is yesterday.
The Spurs can't treat this like a long-term rebuild. You hear in these organizations, we can't skip steps. They've got to move quickly in putting a real team around him.
Listen to that. Listen, that's Woj. That was a bomb that just exploded in Brian Wright's office.
That wasn't a bomb.
Oh, it's a bomb.
No. That was a direct shot. That was like crosshairs. You know what I'm saying? Like with the scope.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was, yeah, exactly. That was, an assassin. I mean, good for you, Woj. You know why? Because Woj likes basketball.
Yes.
Woj likes good basketball. And Woj is saying, you have the best freaking player in the world on your team, and you're dropping these, crazy games to the Wizards. I mean, get it together, dude. Slap some energy together and get some legitimate players on this team to help Wemby out. We're sick of watching this every night.
It is crazy to say that this guy's better than we thought he was going to be. It really does seem kind of, I don't know, I don't know how to define how we can say that the guy that we drafted, when we drafted him, we said, if everything goes as planned, he will be the best to ever do it. And we are 6 months into it, and we go, you know what? We didn't say enough, that we didn't get there. Listen to Woj talking about the situation the Spurs find themselves, because the timeline has, in fact, sped up.
I think what this organization said before the season, coming into Victor Wembanyama's rookie year, is he will dictate essentially the timeline. This group will dictate the timeline for how quickly he's ready for speeding this thing up. I think he's delivered that message. This is a player who's going to be, we said this at the draft last year. He's going to be the best player at both ends of the floor by his third season in the NBA. I wonder if that wasn't too conservative. And by next season, he's going to win multiple MVPs. He's going to start winning them quickly. And the Defensive Player of the Year award will be retired in his name. No one else is ever going to win this, maybe after this year.
Go off, King.
Nuts.
King Woj.
Was it Zach Lowe that just a month ago had Chet as the Rookie of the Year? Was it Zach? I believe it was.
Oh, dude. And his whole argument was like, well, Wemby does it, man. And think about it. And they're coworkers, right? They're coworkers. And Zach was all, I don't know. I haven't seen enough. And then fast forward, and Woj is like, they're going to retire the award in his honor. The Galactic Jump. And not every, ESPN employee is the same person or has the same mindset. Everybody deserves to have their own opinion. But it's why Zach Lowe was so embarrassed. And I really like Zach Lowe, which is why I was so bummed. Because this was so obviously just trying to zig where everybody was zagging. Just trying to have a different take. And it blew up in his face.
He was going to do a skip, and it blew up in his face. Coming back, we have our first trade of the 24-25 NFL season. We will announce the trade and talk about what's coming, because the Cowboys might be paying attention to a quarterback in Minnesota who might be headed to Alpharetta. This will all make sense next. Let's hang around. You're on the Morning Huddle, San Antonio Sports Star. As I have had an occasion over the last couple of weeks to go back and look at old family photos, it's funny when you look at yourself in years past and wonder, how did I get to that and where you are now? Looking at my pictures from just a couple of years ago, my goodness, I'm half the man I used to be. I've lost a lot of weight, and I remember back then I didn't feel like I was all that big. You start losing weight and things change your perspective. You got to buy a new belt and new clothes, and you look at things differently. Back then, I thought that was what life was going to be. I was just going to be overweight, tired all the time, sore, and all the things that went along with obesity. Some 6 years later, that is not the case. I feel better today than I did when some of those pictures were taken. And I'm going to feel better tomorrow, too, because I continue on a program from the Institute for Functional Health that not only can I live with, I'm going to hope to live a long time with. I'm eating better. I'm sleeping better. I'm living better. And I'm eating better. And, my life feels better. If it's time for you to lose weight, if you're ready to feel better, I want you to call Dr. Jacob Torres over at the Institute for Functional Health. He has worked with thousands of people just like you who had just basically thrown in the towel, didn't think weight loss was for them. They would just go on, close out things in just an uncomfortable way. It doesn't have to be that way. Dial this number, 210-468-1891. Ask for Dr. Torres and let him explain to you why he's been successful with people like me and with people like you, because it does work if you apply yourself. Go to the website, iffhealth.com. It's a great resource. Ask yourself the questions they have in their functional health tests. I'm sure it'll open your eyes, but you're not going to know until you try. Listen to me. It ain't easy losing weight. We've all tried and failed, but if it's time to do it, there's no better place than the Institute for Functional Health. It has worked for me, and I'm sure it'll work for you. Give them a try. Give them a call. Find out what I know, and when you join and when you get going, I know you're going to be thanking me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 US Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Now, during Staples Print Big Sale, get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. So the more you print at Staples, the more you save. To demonstrate, print at Staples, you save. But if you print at Staples, you save. See how that works? Staples Print Big Sale. Print more, save more. Up to $100. Ends 4/6. Visit staples.com/print for details.
If you've been thinking about buying a new car or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, think Ancira.com. Browse through thousands of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and RVs. Shop for your next new Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Ford, Buick, or GMC. Or if you're looking for an import, we have a huge selection of Kias, VWs, and Nissans. Or for your home away from home, a full line of RVs and campers. And you'll always get the lowest Ancira price, in store or online at Ancira.com.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz at 2 o'clock. Today we're talking Spurs Rockets as the Silver and Black try for a 3-game winning streak. Yeah, they could win 3 in a row. Plus the latest on the Dallas Cowboys and the Dak Prescott extension. We'll visit with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk at 5:15 about that. RJ, you're always talking about snacks. What kind of snacks did you bring this morning?
Yes.
Actually, I saw a thing this morning, Rob, on Good Morning Football. It was the spirited debate that the table was having. Do you prefer sour or hot candy?
Really neither, but if I had to go, it'd be sour.
I'm not a big sour candy person. I think every middle school kid who's eating sour candy is just trying to show off. You know what I mean? They're just trying to be like, I can take it.
Well, you grew up in South Texas. I've had my fair amount of chamoy from the get-go. I've had a lot of sour stuff over the years. And I have never been able to do like the Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I like the flavor, but only about one of them. I just can't. I'm not a hot guy.
I think for me, because I'm kind of with you, the hot Cheetos are difficult because of the texture of Cheetos. Like you have the ridges, so some of the powder or whatever like kind of collects in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I can do, but I got to do it in moderation. I can do the hot fries because the powder is more evenly distributed. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about like Tom's hot fries?
I'm talking. It's its own brand. They're like the chip is made differently.
Yeah, the hot fries. Those have been around forever. Yeah. I think it's Tom's that makes those. That's old school, man. That's the OG.
Those are more manageable to me than hot Cheetos.
But if you say it, you have to emphasize your Espanol with hot Cheetos after watching the movie.
We've all seen the movie. Yeah.
All right. We do have a first movement of the football year as the Buffalo Bills have agreed to terms and will send offensive lineman Ryan Bates to Chicago for a 5th-round pick in the upcoming draft. It doesn't mean anything to anybody listening right now, but it is significant in that it is the first move of the offseason. And as that went down last night, word afoot about a variety of quarterbacks. First and foremost, Russell Wilson gave his goodbyes to Denver. It's a place that affected him, and he'll never forget the good folks of Denver, like the lunch ladies that served him breakfast every day, like the gas station attendant he met the first day he arrived, like the luggage guy that one time put his luggage. He thanked everybody in Denver, all of them, except for his former head coach. Sean Payton's name never came up as Russell takes his giant attitude and huge ego and lessening skill set someplace else. That's on the heels of It appears Minnesota and Kirk Cousins are dancing. They're negotiating, right? I don't think either one of them wants to say goodbye, but if they both said goodbye to each other, it wouldn't break each other's hearts. Would that be a good way to define the situation that Kirk finds himself with the Vikings? They both like each other. It just feels like, for the sake of the kids, we stayed around for a while, but now the kids are old enough, it might be time to go.
I would offer, I don't know where this falls in that analogy, but if Kirk leaves, all of a sudden, I think it's much more difficult for the Vikings to retain Justin Jefferson.
I think you're right.
Simply because, not that Kirk is amazing, although I think much more highly of him than anybody else. By the way, everyone listening should think highly of Kirk because, in case you forgot, he is a San Antonio Spurs fan, so
Yes,
he likely wants Brian Wright to get off the couch too. But not having a franchise quarterback makes, getting a star wide receiver, in fact, the best wide receiver, to commit to you a much more difficult proposition. So, I don't know that trading for Trey Lance would be the move to kind of scratch that itch, but if Kirk leaves, that is the first domino to fall in a very interesting timeline of events for the Vikings.
Well, you brought up Trey Lance. Now that seems like a random guy to bring up, but there is some connection here because the Vikings have in fact had some interest in Lance before. You've illustrated really well the situation that the Cowboys find themselves with Trey Lance, because this fifth-year option that didn't seem like a big deal way back when the deal was done is now looming large. This is a quarterback that is due to get paid sometime soon, and not only does he get due to get paid, but the salary cap ramifications are huge, especially for the Cowboys, and they're going to have to make a decision with this guy soon. And it would certainly help if Kirk moved to Atlanta to live and flourish there because his wife's from Georgia, that the Vikings would come and take what could be an imminent problem for the Cowboys.
So the Cowboys have Trey Lance under contract for the 2024 season and have until May to decide if they want to pick up his fifth-year option. The Cowboys will not do that, even if they don't get something done with Dak, just because it doesn't make sense. The Vikings have been sort of somewhat pseudo-connected to Trey Lance for a while now, even dating back to this time last year. If you recall, the Vikings have already, they've danced around getting out of Kirk for a while. Remember, they drafted Kellen Mond. So, well, I mean,
that didn't scare him much, but it was a try.
It was a second-round pick.
No, Kellen.
You know what I mean? Like,
we love Kellen, San Antonio's own.
But anyway, so the Vikings, Trey is from Minnesota, played at North Dakota State, and they're not afraid to kind of take a flyer on options like that. And they could trade for him. And if you're wondering how the contractual thing works out for them, they could pick up the fifth-year option themselves, or they could say, you know what, we're going to play this thing out. And if for whatever reason he plays himself out of his mind, we'll place the franchise tag on him.
And that would be
like they'll be in a different situation circumstantially as opposed to the Cowboys.
Do you get the sense that if Kirk was to leave and go to Atlanta, that would be the best move for them? Like, we're going to bring you in and get 1 year try. If it doesn't work out, we'll deal with it. They're not facing the same problems that the Cowboys are.
They're not in range to take one of the draft's top quarterbacks, and Trey Lance is still incredibly young. You know what I mean? Like, it's, it doesn't take much to talk yourself into that. Like, you're early in the night with this subject where you're like, we could do this. Like it's not. It's not a huge sort of tall ask, but that's where if you're Justin Jefferson, you're like, dude, I'm not here to serve as this dude's like focus group. You know what I mean? Like I'm here to do something special, which could change the calculus in a significant way. Now I know we got upset at Jerry Jones for using Trey Lance as leverage or whatever against Dak, but it is possible that Jerry was playing the long game. That maybe they're only toying with Trey Lance as a point of leverage against Dak just to keep Minnesota. Just to drive the price up for them. Because if this is true, and this all started with Rich Eisen, who said that this was a rumor he heard while at the Combine. If this is true that Minnesota has interest in Trey Lance, it would behoove Jerry to, grease up, the Trey Lance, wheel, so that Minnesota's price that they're ultimately going to have to pay is at least what the Cowboys pay, which was a 4th-round pick.
On Friday, Jerry was asked about his young quarterback and what he thought about him. This might have been negotiating with the Vikings ahead of time.
Arrow is really up, exceeded expectations as a person, as a worker, character. He's got unique skills, very much what we planned on, hoped. When we gave the pick, we knew we would be paying the bonus right now. That was a part of the same decision.
So he's telling us, yeah, we knew a bonus was coming, and we knew we were going to have to pay Dak. His arrow's still up. We'd love to pay him. We want him to stay around. That sounds like negotiating, because ain't no way in heck he wants to pay or deal with the cap ramifications of a 5th-year option for a modern NFL quarterback. That would be $20 million that they just take out of the budget. Sorry, you don't get to spend any of that.
It would be phenomenal. I mean, this would be somebody just saving the Cowboys from themselves.
Do you believe him? Do you believe him that when they made the deal, they thought, yeah, we know there's a $22 million cash hit or cap hit, whether he's playing or not coming in a year.
That's only if they pick up his
That's
option.
what I'm saying.
They,
but he said
they
he knew
have
it.
to do that.
But he said
So,
we knew we'd be paying the
knew,
bonus right now. That's what he said.
I think what they knew is, and this involves the Vikings as well. If you recall, prior to the 2016 NFL season, at that moment in time, the Eagles had Sam Bradford entering his 2nd season with the team after having just traded for him the year prior. They traded up to draft Carson Wentz, and I believe Chase Daniel was the other quarterback who they signed in free agency. And Teddy Bridgewater had that super scary knee injury throughout training camp. And the Vikings traded for Sam Bradford, and the Eagles were able to get rid of him. And so that is always something that you never know whether that can happen at any point in time. And that's where Trey Lance does exist as a potential, I wouldn't say savior, but as a potential option for a team. So you have held on to the surplus, you know what I'm saying, in Trey Lance, and you've been kind of banking on a team needing him. And with Kirk Cousins seemingly, potentially, hypothetically on his way to Alpharetta, that may have finally happened. You may have gotten lucky. You stored up, you hoarded for a rainy day, and here we are. Your rations are suddenly coveted by somebody else.
Well, we're not going to have Jason Kelce to kick around anymore. The guy up and retired on us yesterday.
Did it the right way.
You know, we were on air when it was announced that he was going to have a presser during the day, and I think it's been well documented. We knew he was leaving. He was about to retire. But in his retirement speech, I just want you to let's listen to his story about the Philly special.
I won't forget Nick Foles having the game of his life on the biggest stage possible, and the biggest on the team going up to Doug Peterson and asking for the Philly special, and Doug Peterson having the biggest balls in the stadium.
Those must be some spectacular balls.
To say, yeah, let's do it.
That's Kelce in his retirement. You know, it's not often a man can retire and mention two men's genitalia and break into tears all at the same time. It doesn't happen often. That's been Kelce's ride over the last couple of years. Are we getting tired of them? Are we getting tired of the Kelces? It's time for them to go away for a while.
I'm really not tired of the ancillary parts of them. Like I'm not tired of Mama Kelce. I'm not tired of Taylor or anything, but I'm a little overwhelmed with the actual Kelce brothers at this point. And by all means, get your bag, make your money, do what you want to do, Jason. I really don't care ultimately, but I promise you, we're not done with him. Like,
I want to make a prediction. He is going to be the best NFL color guy since Romo's rookie year. He steps.
You're too small-minded. It won't be a color thing.
Maybe. Okay.
Romo predated the Manning cast. It will be something different. You know what I mean? It will be something that won't require as much of a lift. You know what I mean? Because Romo's got to be on the road every single week and this and that. Like it will be some sort of like cave or some sort of pod. I mean, obviously as a podcast, but like it'll be something along those lines. Do you recall that last season? I forget which game it was, but it was the Eagles bye week,
right?
And he went and sat in with Amazon.
I remember
for Thursday Night Football. And was on the pregame show, the postgame show, whatever, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, so Amazon's got technology that nobody else has. And Amazon's willing to throw money that nobody else is willing to throw. So, like, the only, company that doesn't have, like, a man, like, Amazon has the Next Gen Stats broadcast, and they have the Dude Perfect cast. Like, there will be, like, a Kelce cast on Thursday Night Football. That is my prediction.
I completely agree. He is destined for things that are going to keep him front and center far more than as the center for the Philadelphia Eagles. And when you get past the hyperbole of the Kelce name, this is a starting NFL center for a decade. And those are the smartest guys on the field, just like a catcher in baseball. And they always turn into great TV types or great coaches, one or the other, just because of the job they had. We won't be saying goodbye to Kelce. It's just we'll see him in a different clothing and maybe a little bit more weight.
It's hard to admit, but he might be the greatest offensive lineman of all time. And he is the best. The Eagles certainly haven't had a dynasty, but this is the most successful run of Eagles football maybe ever, obviously, because it includes the Super Bowl title. But he is the best player from that team. And
wow, I find that.
How often can you say that? Like it's what, like, again, I don't love that they won the Super Bowl at all. But I mean, they did it in a very unique way, to where he is. If there's a statue commemorate, and there actually obviously literally is one with Nick Foles and Doug Peterson, the people who he mentioned. But I mean, he is the cover for it. You know, he is the face of it all. And again, I really don't like this, but he really embraced the city of Philadelphia, which is cool. Like, it is so cool when an athlete adopts their new hometown and makes it their own.
I think you put something out there that needs to be talked about. He is not Travis's brother. He is Jason Kelce, an all-pro.
He might be the more
Hall
famous
of Fame.
one.
Yeah, well, as far as football, all-pro Hall of Fame worthy, saying goodbye. And I think we got lost in what his skill set was and got paid too much attention to who his brother's girlfriend was than what he did.
The tush push is the most famous play in the NFL.
Because
and I'm not saying Jalen Hurts has nothing to do with it, but the engineer of it all is Jason Kelce. I mean, he has defined so many emblematic things of the modern NFL over the last 10 years. And I mean, he's played with and for and around so many great players and, you know, people who have done so many great things. And he made being a center really cool. Like, he's one of the most popular jerseys that Eagles fans have.
Goodbye and good riddance, Jason Kelce. I'm glad we don't have to see you anymore.
Enjoy your life, man. I wish you health, wealth, and happiness, but thank goodness the Cowboys don't have to worry about you anymore.
Hey, coming up, you want to hear from Jeremy Sohan? Why not? Let's hear from him as they get ready for the Houston Rockets. A record could be tied and fall this week, one worthy of recognition. GSG, the Spurs try to stack 3. We're talking about it next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
.94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join. Or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia, a bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older or 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like diabetes or asthma, you're at increased risk. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants.
I had missing teeth. I had crowns. I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning to see my teeth in a container.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or apply stopped, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs look to make it 3 straight. They're getting busy again tonight at 7 o'clock. They're taking on the Houston Rockets. Victor Wembanyama need to clear some space on the mantle. He just won his 2nd straight Rookie of the Month award, averaging pretty significant numbers in every box possible. And oh, by the way, Texas loses to Baylor late.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembanyama 3, good! Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama. Drive. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather round. We got something to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. He is the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. I just sit here and talk. And on the other side, the guy that's driving this boat, that's Easy E. Edwin Hafner. We're glad you're with us for one more hour of power as we take you into a full sporting day. Don't forget the Blitz is at 2 o'clock. And as we talk Dallas Cowboys now, Mother Football will be joining them then. Shane Williams will join the Blitz as they talk about the Dak Prescott turn of events, as we heard from him yesterday, and we'll have some sound from him in just about 15 minutes. He and Troy Aikman spoke yesterday on the state of the Cowboys and the state of the babies and all other things. But in the meantime, Spurs getting busy tonight with the Houston Rockets. 2 straight wins. Victor Wembanyama got his 2nd consecutive Rookie of the Month award. He is now leading the NBA in block shots. He has more block shots than about 8 NBA teams and continues to improve. One of the things that we've laughed at over the year, and laugh is not appropriate, so one of the things we have been greatly concerned with over the year was Jeremy Sohan's play at point guard, a place he hadn't played and a place he wasn't drafted to be, although there are some eyes on the point forward, and maybe we've seen some of it, but it did hamstring the team. I think as we've watched the improvement of the Spurs of late, 2 things are happening. Well, there's 3 things in play, all that kind of, whether by design or by happenstance or just by, individual growth, all occurred at the same time. One was, it appears that the light switch came on for Victor about 2 weeks ago, where suddenly the game slowed down and some of the things that he's been working on are starting to work and he's doing them better than he has before. And we're seeing what we're seeing. That's one thing. The other thing we saw starting about a week ago was Don Harris brought it out. Pop talked about it. We've talked about it, that this team was playing dumb and lackadaisical, and there were no prices to be paid for stupid play. You could make a mistake, and unlike previous years where you made it too often, not only did you get benched, you got put on a bus to Austin, but you could survive missing a play, making a bad pass, turning it over. There was no price to pay. And suddenly, about a week ago, Keldon got pulled out of a game, played 4 minutes. Very quickly followed by Wemby and Devin sitting out the beginning of a third quarter. Jeremy, I'm sorry. You didn't follow what I wanted you to do. You're going to pay the price. You're going to watch other people do it. And out of that, we've got 2 wins. And things start to flow. But I will tell you the most important thing that has happened over the last several weeks is the defense is finally starting to get better. Is it good? No. But it is far better than what it was. And a lot of that is out of at least hustle. Defense is effort. Just go out and effort your way in. And I think we've seen a little bit more in that. And I think the combination of Jeremy and Victor defensively is so much more than anybody has given credit for. What they're capable of doing as a unit together out on the court, we're talking 7X, 7'4", 5, however tall he is, and 6'8". These 2 guys can defend 4 players on a court. Either one, they can switch off. Both these guys can defend just about everybody on the court but the point guard. Yesterday, Jeremy was asked about the team's improvement, and he put it in one specific place.
I think just, understanding who we have on the court, different personnel we have, communication, that's number one for me and I think for everyone else on the team. But, just understanding who we have. When Vic's in, he's a guy who we want him to help. And everyone else just, kind of stay back because it's f***ing Vic, you know what I mean? And then, when Zach's in, it's different game plan schemes. But, yeah, just understanding who we have on the court and just, communicating that.
First of all, we need Jeremy sound every day. Just give us the weather. Just give me a traffic report, Jeremy. If you will come on every day and just give us something, because that is so cool to hear that accent talking basketball.
Free idea. All right. Spurs. You need to record Jeremy like they do whoever it is, Gus Johnson for Madden or NCAA, Jeremy Fowler, whatever. And you need to record him saying all sorts of derivations so that after a Spurs game is over, my phone, when it alerts me with the final score, the Spurs lost or the Spurs beat or whatever, and just have him say all the scores and then have the AI technology build that and have him announce the score to me.
There have been worse ideas, but I do agree with what he said. I think that, he above most, I do think has a perspective on this team because he's been forced into doing some things that he hated. He's had to learn to shoot over the last 2 years. We have watched him learn to play basketball like he was an 8th grader. A year ago, he had to get the pizza box and hold the ball like this and make sure your elbows are pointed in and follow through with your middle finger pointing at the rim and do that. And I'll tell you what, Jeremy, as a professional basketball player, you're only allowed to use your right hand at the free throw line. If we could put a mitten on your left hand or belt it to your side shooting free throws, and I'll be damned if you didn't step up and do it and improve. And then suddenly the 3-point shooting. And then on top of that, after doing all that 1 year, the next year, guess what? Now that you kind of have an idea of how maybe to shoot, we got a new job for you. And through all that, here he sits. And I think he has a perspective on this team like no other. And we talk about untouchable dudes on the Spurs. And Devin Vassell is the most likely other not untouchable, even though nobody is untouchable other than Victor. I think what Jeremy is learning, is offering through this team in so many different avenues, might make him, even though we don't look at it like that, the most indispensable player other than Victor on this team.
He's got, relative to what this team is, the corporate knowledge, right? He's the glue guy. You need the star, you need the wingman, assist guy, the Robin, whatever, and then you need the glue guy. The guy that kind of does all the dirty work and keeps it all together, the guy who maybe you're not appreciating too much. I mean, his willingness to do the whole point guard thing in general, I think, kind of speaks to that. But this is representative of attitude. It's representative of being, coachable. It's a big old thing, right? Like, how coachable are you? So you got to have those dudes around. I mean, think about the way he spoke about Victor. I mean, compared to, and I know we've all come back around on Devin. Well, I know, but I mean, he was like, because he's Vic. I mean, like everyone has to understand that. That has to be like when you're like literally when you're given a locker and a jersey, it's like, okay, but you know who the star is, right? Like, that like that's a prerequisite. And not every player is capable of absorbing that and of handling that and of dealing with that and making peace with that. And so he has all the intangible qualities that you want in this locker room. I'm good with Jeremy.
I think we need to be. And I think that, I've personally kind of kicked him around since he got drafted. I saw the potential, but he was so far away. I do think as the Spurs achieve what we assumed would be the unachievable, 120 consecutive games of 20 assists per, that while we joke about it, how it really has meant nothing other than, well, they did it. They did do it in no small part was played by Jeremy. To average 20 assists a game, you got to have guys that are willing to share the ball. And you have to have several of them that are more than willing for you, good to better, better to best. And you talk about that in mentality. I think it is that 120 games is summed up in Jeremy Sohan. I think it sums up the Sohan era right there.
It's his record.
It feels like it because a lot of individual stats without a lot of team success. Unfortunately, Jeremy's been a part of that. But it also defines what a glue guy is, a team guy is. When a team averages this, we can make fun of it. I do. But the fact of the matter is, it is a pretty impressive achievement. It is indicative of what made Pop and the Spurs great. First and foremost, you got to have to be, what does he always say? You got to put your ego at the door. You got to set yourself aside. You are not a lone entity anymore. And Jeremy kind of represents that. And 20 assists a game kind of represents that as well.
Great comment from Miguel in the Brigade Bar. Says Sohan is our Draymond, Bruce Bowen, Rodman, etc. That's what I'm saying. You need those dudes. You can't have a team of Wembys. You can't even have a team of Devins. You know what I mean? Like you have to have role players is a really wide net to cast, but you have to have players who have specific roles, if that makes sense. And those roles have to be malleable and have to be, they have to be willing to be adjusted and do and try and, put themselves, in positions to experience different things. And not every player not only has the talent to do that, but is cut out to be asked to do that over and over and over again. So good for Jeremy.
All right. As we continue down the Spurs run toward another lottery appearance, at least two, we're hoping if Toronto can fall apart. The current mock drafting, if the Spurs were in a position to get somebody they wanted. My previous favorite, Rob Dillingham, has fallen out of favor. He is now third on my list of guys to watch, I think. But his running mate.
Wow. Tough week.
His partner at Kentucky, his co-player, Reed Shepherd, might have catapulted above.
Don't you want Rob, though, so you can be like, Rob? You know what I mean? Don't you want that?
I wouldn't mind it, but I'd yell Reed.
Yes.
I'll put it. I'm actually joking here, but when we do look at the draft that's coming with the Spurs, there's a lot of talk from those that really kind of give us the overview of the league, the Wojs, the Wind Horses, the Zach Lowe's, about the Spurs right now. And I think it's in no small surprise that as they talk about, what are you going to do now, Spurs? Because this guy's really, really good. I do think it's in no small part because of what Wemby has done over the last 3-4 weeks, where everybody's going, every time he sets foot on the court, we have to be ready for a Wemby, a 5x5. We have to be ready or expect a 5-10 block game or a quadruple double. It could happen any night, but your team sucks, and we can't plan ahead enough to get you in prime time because your team sucks. We got teams headed toward the playoffs. They need
the
better.
ESPN graphic department is just all, we're running out of pictures. You know what I mean? We're running out of things we can make. We're running out of cool ways to do this. I mean, and it's really awkward to include, all these random teammates in Wemby's pictures. We need him to have some superstars around him. I mean, you know what the problem is for these national shows is Wemby doesn't offer the ability for them to have hot takes. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's nothing that there's like, he's really good and they're not. You know what I mean? They need something polarizing. They need something to happen. And that's why they're also, on the Woj thing, his pushing, his prodding, his outright kind of neon signing towards Brian Wright of do something. I'm not saying that Woj doesn't have his own opinions, but Woj talks to more people than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this message being carried out on national television? Why is this message being executed right now at this moment in time?
I'm not a black helicopter guy, but I am. Remember back at the All-Star game when they just kept showing us pictures of Wemby and Trey sitting together and laughing? I mean, it felt like the NBA certainly did like this pairing, and it felt like Atlanta was more than willing to oblige to get some of the things that they had given us and the DeJounte thing back. And I think that was, I'm not saying it was by design. I'm not saying that the NBA said, hey, TNT cameraman, every chance you get, we want you to show a Spur with another really good player to give us something to talk about and to get the Spurs moving. But I think you're right. And I think that there is a move afoot amongst those that matter with the league, whether it be the advertisers, whether it be TNT, whether it be Procter & Gamble or Kia, that are saying Wemby is about to become the biggest sports name in the world. And he's on a terrible basketball team. Fix it. Fix it. We can't. It's Lionel Messi when he came. When he came to the United States to play for Miami, the entire league went, okay, we're going to pay for you to come here, but we're going to have to help Miami get better because we can't have Messi playing on a terrible team. But now he was capable of lifting them up. But if he's coming, if Wemby is here, he can't be on a bottom dweller. He can't. It looks bad for the league. It looks bad for what are you guys doing? It just cannot be a function of the process.
And for anyone involved, Brian Wright, if he is on that team for too long, they will fix it.
Right.
If he is a part of the dysfunction for too long, they will say, we need this property to be elsewhere. Do not allow that to happen. All right? Fate has smiled upon you. You have hit the lottery. All we're asking you to do is to invest the money. Buy whatever you want. I know Dogecoin's back on the rise. Get something. I mean, just anything. Buy some stocks. Quit hoarding it all.
Right. You can't take it with you, and he might take it with you if you don't fix things early. And you do get the sense that it's coming. And while we all talk about pop, this is Brian Wright. It lands on his desk. Not RC, not Pop. This is Brian Wright. They're talking to him. Make the deal. Make a deal. Do something other than let us continue to watch this greatness get squandered. We're excited. We've got a guy putting up numbers that are MVP, not Rookie of the Year, MVP, and we're excited about maybe our third consecutive win. The league is going, fix this. Fix this. Your process ain't our process. Your timeline ain't our timeline. We're trying to figure out where Braun's going to play with his kid next year.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, coming back. Great drop. That was great. Dak Prescott speaks, but really, I know you woke up this morning going, the Cowboys find themselves in kind of the situation they are. What does Troy think? Well, guess what? We have that answer. Troy Aikman's going to come back next. He and Dak were chairing a function yesterday in Dallas. We're going to hear from Troy Aikman. We're going to hear from Dak Prescott. And after you hear from all that, you're going to have so many grievances, you're going to have to let it out. So we're going to give you that opportunity as well. More to do, but you got to be with us. This is the Morning Huddle, and you are on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join. Or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, 11880 U.S. Highway 90, just 10 minutes from the Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, we pride ourselves in being America's best car buyer, bringing top dollar for your car with an online process that's fast and easy. But you might not know that we've got a special interest in buying your truck. Luxury haulers, workhorse diesels, or just your favorite pickup truck, we've specialized in putting the right money on your truck for longer than anybody. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com today and get your check on the spot from America's best car and truck buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinigle here, coming up on the Blitz at 2. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he says a deal should most likely get done. What does Shireen Williams think? We'll talk to Shireen from ProFootballTalk.com coming up at 5:15. Plus, the Spurs going for 3 in a row. Can you believe it? They're in Houston tonight. We'll get you previewed up for that as well. RJ, how's your blood pressure, man? You get mad a lot when it comes to these Cowboys.
Talking about an angry guy talking to other angry guys. Joe Reinigle is the most upset guy live the Zen life, and we do our best to do that. Now, we end our day with it. We try to help you guys begin your day with it so you can function appropriately. And in about 15 minutes, you got something to get off your chest. We're more than happy to let you do it. We'll air our grievances in just a minute. Being a Cowboy fan is always fun.
Fun is a weird word.
Yeah, that's not probably the best way to say it. But I got to tell you, yesterday afternoon, or after yesterday's show, and really on the heels of Friday as well, during the Combine, I had resigned myself to a couple of things. And some were good, some were bad. And I've still resigned myself to the current iteration of the Dallas Cowboys chapter will finish at the end of this season. Whatever they were, starting in 25, they're going to be something different. Either they're going to be Super Bowl champions and starting something different, or they're going to be starting something different with a brand new head coach, a brand new defensive coach, 80% roster turnaround, and just a couple of stalwarts. I know that the end of this book is coming. I don't know if it's going to be a happy ending or a sad ending, But I had an idea yesterday. And then Dak and Troy spoke. I was led to believe by the writers, Michael Gelkin at Dallas Morning News and others, that the thought of giving Dak the money and all this might not be as amenable as it seemed even just a couple of weeks ago, that they were going to hold back and do the Denver thing, rip the Band-Aid off and pay the extraordinary cap hit. But now, listening to Dak yesterday, am I wrong? Should we be looking at this like we were before, that an extension is coming? And this team, while it might blow up at the end of the next year, will look a lot like it did last year.
I think that it's the most unlikely reality is that Dak Prescott is the franchise quarterback and Mike McCarthy is the franchise head coach next season. That's if we rank things from most unlikely to most likely. I think the least likely thing is Mike McCarthy's the coach and Dak Prescott's out. That's even less likely.
Right.
A little bit more likely is that they're both gone. I think the most, and then I think a little bit more likely is that they're both, back. But I think the most likely thing is that Dak Prescott is the quarterback of this team in 2025, with or without Mike McCarthy.
Well, Dak is certainly confident. He was asked yesterday, does he think a deal will get done?
Yeah, I'm definitely confident. Obviously, it helps the team. It's important for the numbers. I think it's Jerry. I've heard Jerry said that. Tad helped me out here and told me that part, right? That is a process. Both sides understand that. Everything's great. I know happy.
Everything's great. It's process. I'm confident. Is this a negotiation?
I don't think so. I mean, Dak could have been a real jerk about this. Dak could have come out and said, we want something, they want something. He could have come out and he could have said the following, and everybody would have understood. He could have said, I just had a baby last week, and I don't know how many contracts, how many extensions I'll get in the NFL. I want to make sure I'm prioritizing and taking care of my family. Everybody's trying to do that. We want a fair deal, but I want to make sure I'm taking care of my family's taken care of. He didn't say that at all. He said, we got to make sure the numbers work, et cetera. I mean, like what he said was really amicable, I think, with regards to the overall goals that the Cowboys have as a team.
Now, I like Dak Prescott. I think he's a very good, even great NFL quarterback. You don't get the numbers that he's put up for the last several years without being really, really good. But I'm to the point where it's kind of a fare thee well situation that, for maybe we might just get along better if you were someplace else. But that's kind of the way I thought. I didn't want to say goodbye, but I kind of felt like it was time. Now, what happens if the opposite occurs? Would it make some sense? Or maybe I should say this. Would it surprise you if Jerry walked out and gave Dak a Pat Mahomes-esque 9-year, well over $500 million contract to spread this money out so far that they can go ahead and function this way, and we'll worry about 4 years from now?
I just don't know that Dak would want to do that.
You don't think so?
I think it would have to be overwhelming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The reason I brought it up is you said it earlier, and I want anybody who's listening, you brought up that the Cowboys and the way they negotiate, it might be time to overwhelm.
There are 3 components to a roster, or to a contract extension or a contract in general in the NFL. There is the contract length, there is the annual average value, so how much you make per year, and then there is the guaranteed money. Now, in a perfect world, all 3 things would be what you're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. But you're not in a world of supply and demand where you need the thing that they have. You generally have to bend on 2, if not all 3 of them. And the Cowboys just are so unwilling to bend on any of these fronts. And they'll say, you know what, we'll do the annual average value, but only on a 5-year deal. Why? For what reason does Dak Prescott have to do that? Oh, we'll do a 3-year deal, but much less guaranteed money. Why? You know what I mean? Like, and these things have proven to be true and accurate time after time, after time, after time again, including with Dak Prescott and yourselves, you goofs. The last time you did this, you lost in catastrophic fashion, and he is a wealthy man as a result of it all. So you are going to have to bite the bullet. You're going to have to give him the annual average value he wants. You're going to have to give him the guaranteed money. You're going to now have to give him a short-term contract because you've restructured him so many times to the point that you've painted yourself into this corner. They held the brush the whole time. They didn't spawn into the corner, you know what I mean, with the paint all around them. They put themselves in this spot. And they specifically designed his previous extension to where they would restructure and get to this point. That's the true madness behind this, is they designed this, a Kobayashi Maru, the unwinnable situation in Star Trek. So now they're sitting here saying, well, we need you to let us win. Why? Why would he do that? Why would anyone let you do that? I mean, there's just no reason for Dak to do that in general as a human being, let alone as somebody who's setting a precedent for the rest of the NFL. So the reason that other quarterbacks, because everybody says, oh, well, they took less, it's because their teams were proactive. Their teams overwhelmed. If you're going to get somebody to sign an extension with time remaining on their current contract, you have to give them a reason to do so. You have to give them a reason to give up, time that they could have otherwise come back to the negotiating table. But they didn't do that here because they dragged their feet in 2019 and they let him play on the final year of his rookie contract. And then they couldn't overwhelm him in the initial negotiations and they had to franchise tag him. And then they couldn't, necessarily get anything done throughout that whole process. And they had to not only overwhelm, they had to bend the knee 3 years ago in 2021. And here they are again. And they're like, man, I have no idea how we got here. This is crazy. Dak, please save us. Like they say every single week when they're on the football field.
So Dak yesterday says, we heard it. I'm confident. Obviously, if it helps the team, it's important for the numbers. I've heard Jerry say that. He's told me that part. That's it. It is a process. Both sides understand that everything's great. It'll happen. That's Dak yesterday. Friday, when Jerry was asked about a potential Dak extension, Jerry said, we don't need to, but we can. If everybody wants to. Oh, go ahead.
But we can if everybody wants to solve it. You can. And so the how is you get in and get on the same page and see if you can come to an agreement. If you can't, what we have in place works.
So that was Friday. We can if we want to, but if we don't, everything else might just stay the same.
Consider the way that Jerry spoke. Like, hey, we don't have to do this, man. You know what I mean? Just incredibly one-sided, focused solely on themselves. Whereas when Dak spoke yesterday, he said, hey, it'll get done. It'll like think of like for the people out there who are anti-Dak, whatever, just reassess your situation for a moment, please. I mean, just please think about the way the two parties involved have spoken here. Jerry Jones openly, almost proudly dismissive, right? Well, this Trey Lance guy, he's really got something going on, and we don't have to extend Dak. We're good to go. Whereas Dak, when asked about this, could have flexed, could have pressed. He does have all the leverage. Said, you know what? I mean, I'm confident it'll get done. I trust Jerry. The difference in maturity levels here is wild.
Hey, coming back, talking maturity, we'll talk about the exhaling the bad and bringing in the good. It's time to air your grievances. You can do that a lot of ways. Call us, 656-3776. That's ESPN to you and me. You can type and go visual at the same number, or you can join us on the socials. We're airing them. Let's help people out. Grievances coming. This is 94.1, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs in Houston tonight to take on the Rockets. Jason, is it possible they're going to make it 3 in a row?
It's possible.
Wow.
Then again, anything is possible. Like a new contract for Dak Prescott. Dak's confident. What about Shereen Williams' thoughts? Shereen Williams from Pro Football Talk will join us at 5:15 to talk some Dallas Cowboys. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nigel, what's up with your hair?
Joel, prices are insane these days. I'm cutting my own hair.
Folks, nobody likes paying high prices. Good news, for a limited time, all quarter moon 14-seer AC systems up to 3 tons are installed in your house for only $69.99. Now is the ideal time to take care of your home at the lowest price of the year.
Joel, I like saving money. I'm an influencer. Everywhere I go, people hand me change. and say, bless your heart.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC. 210-651-5899. License number N16004. DACLA 000743455.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent are required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text TEAR to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text TEAR to 42424. That's TEAR to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
Hey, it is the Morning Huddle. We do it every day. This is a public service. Air your grievances. Let them out. Let the good air in and carry through. And on a Tuesday, as you kind of sum up the weekend and kind of look forward to the week that is, now's a good day to complain. Anything that you need to get off your chest, RJ? Anything to kind of help you get through the day?
Can I go first? Is that
Please
what you're
do.
All right. Clear my throat. You mentioned on a Tuesday. I danced around this earlier. I'm just going to say it right now. You ready?
I'm ready.
Tuesday's the worst day. All right. If I had to power rank the days, I want you to hear me out here. This is my power rank of weekdays, because weekend. Day number 1, Thursday. Thursday's great because you've got Friday energy, and sometimes Friday just kind of winds up being whatever. Friday's a little bit overrated. But Thursday is kind of already, it's the pre-weekend. It's baby Friday, mini Friday, you know what I mean? Small Friday, you can call it whatever you want. Thursday energy is incredible. Number 2 is Friday for obvious reasons. It's the actual legitimate kickstart to your weekend. Sometimes you have it off, which is why Thursday is number 1, because sometimes it vaults you into a 3.5-day weekend. All right. Number 3, Wednesday, hump day. You're over the hump. Survivor's on. I don't know if you watched episode 1 last week, Rob.
You didn't warn me. I saw that it had happened. Can I catch up? Is it too late?
It's not too late. The premiere was 2 hours long. Go hit up Paramount Plus and you can watch it. But Wednesday is great because you're over the hump. Day number 4, once again, out of 5, talking weekdays here. Monday still has some nice energy because you're coming in hot or coming in slow. The weekend is subsiding. Sometimes everybody's on that page with you. It isn't necessarily the rat race quite yet. Worst day of the week, Tuesday, because it's a full work day. Everyone's in full work mode. You're still so far away from the weekend. It's not even Wednesday yet. Tuesdays suck. Tuesday's the worst day of the week.
Well, is that a grievance?
Yeah.
Or is that just
my grievance is with that it's Tuesday. What is the redeeming quality of Tuesday?
It comes before Wednesday. I don't know. Tacos?
I suppose, but I mean, I'm an adult. I can have tacos whenever I want.
No, you can only have them on Tuesday.
I had chorizo and potato tacos for dinner last night. So
that actually sounds pretty good. LeBron told us you have to have tacos on Tuesday. I wonder if that died. Is that over with? We allowed?
Yeah, I feel like he let go of that. But do you agree with my power rankings of days?
Yeah, kinda.
You can pop rocks, Rob, because this is the correct power ranking of days.
So start over with them again.
Ranking.
Well, I'm in the middle of it. Okay.
1 to 5. Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday.
Why is Thursday?
Because Thursday is small Friday. It leads you into the vibes of the weekend. Thursday's great, and a lot of times you don't have work on Friday, or it's a half day, or whatever the case may be. Like it starts the party. A lot of people, have fun activities on Thursday nights. Thursdays rock, man.
I still got one more wake up. It's Friday.
Wow,
it's Friday. I'm. My grievance is right now. Forgive me if I'm flustered. I believe my one of my social medias has been hacked. I just got kicked out of it.
Which one?
Facebook.
You got kicked out of the book?
Well, it's asking me for all my security questions out of nowhere, and I can't get in.
Let me see.
I'm trying to log in and see what's going on. So if I'm getting some weird stuff, the grievance I have today,
I think you're safe because I think Facebook's down.
Oh, is that what's going on?
So during the break, I tried to check Instagram, which is a subsidiary of Facebook, which is a small way to describe a big thing, and it wasn't working. And I was wondering what was going on. So Kesso King says, "Me too, Rob."
Okay.
In the Brigade Bar. Okay.
Okay. I
Don't
thought,
worry.
oh no, I was about to change passwords and all kinds of stuff. I'm just going to stop touching stuff right now because. Last week we lost our phones.
I think that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago we lost our phones. So today we're losing our socials.
So I just searched on Twitter, like a Twitter search for the word Facebook, and there's a lot of people who are mentioning and our friend John Robbins listening sends in a text. This looks like massive Meta Facebook Insta outage. Can't log in. Everyone booted. Okay, we're all good, Rob. So your grievance doesn't even pass.
Well, I think we all have what are we gonna do?
Wow.
Oh.
Elon's got the keys to the universe right now. Elon's got the only place where anyone can hang out.
I'm gonna go to my Truth Social account and hang out in there. It should be an interesting place to be on the socials.
What is it? Mastodon or whatever, or Blue Sky? All those others?
Yeah, I'm going to be on Blue Sky. By the way, it is election day. At least it's primary day. Go do your duty. And if you don't do your duty, don't bitch. Go get a sticker. Go vote. Have you voted yet?
Not yet.
That's kind of my grievance. And this isn't common, and I'm glad it'll be over. And it's not even a grievance. I'm starting to thoroughly enjoy political commercials.
Oh my gosh! By the way, on the subject, John notes he was letting me know about the Meta thing. Rob? You said you weren't a black helicopter person. Social media is down on election day.
I'm just. We'll delve. There's other stations that are far more equipped. Have a little bit of skill and stock and trade in that line of questioning that you might want to go to if you do believe, and you know where that might be on both sides of the fence. The election campaign commercials over the last couple of days, and it doesn't matter your particular ilk, whether you're a red or a purple, a D or an R or an I, whatever it might be, to listen to the Republican congressional elections in the greater San Antonio area have been great. There are accused cartel friends. There are idiots about. There's one that has to do with some kind of new currency. It is. I love these commercials, and they're going to go away for a while. But today, if you have the opportunity, just tune in and revel in the just outright, just basest, lowest kind of common denominator discussion. There ain't anything on any kind of policy other than anything you've heard about spoken of. And whenever you got somebody running and say, that guy's got given the cartel the keys. I love that. Love it. Eat it
so
up.
Your grievance is to go vote?
No, the grievance is it's brought me down into the mud. That I'm now like, what's he going to say to that? That guy who's running for Congress is a friend to drug dealers. How dare him? I love it.
Do you have an actual grievance?
No, not on that one. But I'm just saying, we're going to wave goodbye to those political commercials for a couple of months. And I've thoroughly enjoyed them. That's the only time of the year that I look forward to a commercial. Because I just can't wait to see what the next thing said.
Do you have a grievance with, I saw a lot of people had one. We've never like pondered a grievance here. This is kind of an evolution of things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a grievance with the I was cut by the team statement, like Russell Wilson offered?
I'm like the wave goodbye.
I mean, I think it's a niche kind of goodbye, like notes screenshot sort of statement. If a player retires or is leaving of their own accord, that makes sense, right? Take an ad out in the paper kind of thing. But if the team cuts you and is literally taking on the largest dead cap number in NFL history to say goodbye to you, it's an interesting move. You know what I mean?
I find it, anybody who's ever taken a job that you worked for, you hope to get, you got it, you got the raise, you got everything you wanted, and then you got there and you realized, I have made a terrible mistake. Have you ever taken a gig, apart from the one you're in right now? Please don't tell us that now. But have you ever taken a gig? Because I have. I took a gig one time where I had worked toward it, I had angled for it, I got it, and I walked in the door and I realized immediately what I thought I was getting, I'm not. Russell thought he was getting something that he didn't get, and then he got something even worse.
Too, I know,
absolutely. But when I got into what I'm saying is when I got through this time and I finally left that business, I couldn't wait to get out of there. I wasn't going to say goodbye to anybody. I wanted it to be like I had never been there. I wanted to be Ryan at the office. If they had said goodbye, I didn't have to empty out a drawer. Everything I needed was already in my pocket. I'm out. That's how Russell should have left. They're not going to miss you. You were there for 2 years. They don't know who you are. There's no wins to show for it. You are a sand in the breeze to Denver Bronco fan. They're going to remember you the way Spurs fans remember Drew Bledsoe. Like, oh, yeah. Well, he was the quarterback for us, wasn't he?
So I would offer a different kind of phenomenon, and I've explained this to you before. I think your different line of work thing makes sense, especially given that this is a line of work for Russell. But when you're young, sometimes this isn't only when you're young, but when you're young and you're going out a lot, whatever, and you wind up at a party or a place or like a bonfire or something, and you reach a point, you go to the restroom and you look in the mirror and you say,
get out of here.
But you say, like, how did I get here?
Yeah, the series of poor decisions I made to be standing here.
What were the decisions that I made that I am now right here, right now? And how do I get home? I want to get home and I want to take a shower and I just want to reevaluate everything and make sure that I don't wind up in this kind of situation ever again. That's where I felt like the Broncos were. The Broncos were like, we really thought this was going to be a great idea. You know what I mean? Like, we said that. Like we gave him that extension. We did this. It's a weird kind of place and space to be. So I'm kind of with you on the statement thing. You can certainly have kind words. I also do think a teeny grievance for me is I respect publicly thanking lots of people, but dude, when you do that, you're going to leave out a lot of people. And in the way you're going out, Russ, there's a lot of toxicity and drama following you. And so now I'm certain, I would bet that there is a Broncos blog out there that has, assessed and put under the microscope the list of people who Russell has thanked and the people who he didn't thank, the people who he left. Imagine you're someone who worked really hard for Russell. You did this, you did that, you pushed this, you whatever, and you weren't in his notes. That would stink.
Yeah. I appreciate what Russell did, but I'm not.
The gesture is nice, but I think it only leads to more harm than good.
Now, should we expect something like that from Tyron Smith?
He's pretty quiet. I mean, he's a gentle giant. I think he will offer a Instagram post, assuming it's back online by then, that says something like, thank you for my time in Dallas, whatever. I think the Cowboys will offer a statement as well, probably like a video of him being drafted. When he was drafted, he was 20 years old. That's crazy to think about.
Now, I know we're looking at grievances, but you brought up Russell and the salary cap that they're dealing with. We're, as a Cowboy fan, we're looking at salary cap and going 56, 60 million. And then you add in Trey Lance, that's 22. We could be at like $80 million for two quarterbacks that we don't even care about. And then you go over to Denver, an $85 million dead cap hit. I wonder what this is going to mean to the rest of the NFL, not just for Denver and Russell, but it's I look at this kind of like the 4-minute mile. Like this might be everybody's one guy did it. Now everybody's going to do it. Everybody's been so afraid of dealing with the cap hit of nothing like this has ever happened before. Do you think it'll start
true.
again? Do you think Denver, 80 cutting a dude and
no, well, it's all relative. So the number is big, but
it is
like percentage wise, it isn't like
what's the single biggest cap hit in the history of the league for somebody that you wave goodbye to as far as the percentage? I mean, is it 15%, 20%?
This is still that. But my point is when the Eagles traded Carson Wentz a couple years ago, at the time they took on the largest dead cap in NFL history. And that was like 3 years ago. So
and then they went to nearly the Super Bowl. Went to the Super Bowl after that.
They went to the Super Bowl 2 years later.
Okay.
So that they traded him ahead of the 2021 season, and it was 2022 when they win and they lost.
So it worked for them. Okay.
Right. All I'm saying is it's not super uncommon, right? Like this is the second 4-minute mile. Is kind of what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's all I'm saying.
Well, so why are the Cowboys so afraid of a $65 million hit?
I mean, because he's a good player. This is different. I mean, when the Eagles traded Carson Wentz and with the Broncos cutting Russell Wilson, they're bottom half NFL quarterbacks. And, Dak Prescott is a top 5, 7 guy. I mean, kind of floats and lives in that range. Top 8, 9, 10 is kind of his floor. So that's a very different thing. And he's well worth having. And so it's not about the cap number. They don't want to lose him. They want him on as small of a cap number as possible, and Dak refuses to play ball and, do their stupid things. And so that's really the genesis of the issue.
We sit here and we quibble about 60 and Denver, $85 million hole that they're going to be standing in. And we watch other teams kind of turn it around. You're right. The second 4-minute mile.
I do want to offer one final grievance, if you'll allow me. We've touched on this before in the past. We've talked about how the Spurs have to figure this out and get things, moving and grooving in the right direction because the Wemby era is here. That also applies to literally being able to watch this basketball team. I'm so sick of all these stupid TV reasons, whatevers, blah, 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 why this game is accessible, that game isn't accessible. I am follow the plan of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I will buy your season package. Give me one app, one place where I am guaranteed to be able to watch the greatest player on earth. I want to be able to do that. NBA, Spurs, Valley, whoever I have to talk to. This should not be so. We should not need apps and to have to reset our password every single time we want to watch Wemby play basketball. It should not be that difficult. We live in 2024. This should be so much more simplistic than this.
It's funny that you bring that up because a couple of the those regional sports networks seem to be kind of rounding into the next stage of what's going to happen. Diamond Vision looks like they're about to finish out what was. They're going to fix some things and come back newer. I know that
we're on the precipice of baseball season starting, so they kind of have to have their ducks in a row for that.
Absolutely, they do. And I know that Valley is trying to put out an operational plan to pull themselves out of bankruptcy. It doesn't look like it's possible, but I didn't think that they were capable or even wanted to bring themselves out of that. They were just going to break this whole thing apart. But it looks like Bally and the crew behind it are still efforting to keep themselves relevant and alive, which I didn't think was possible. And that news is going to be coming out here in the next couple of days. So we know there's a fix out there. We know there's an answer. We just got to get the guys that are the problem to get out of the way.
If your app or whatever isn't accessible on every device, you're making things so complicated and needlessly complicated. I mean, it doesn't just, again, we just want, we will pay. I mean, I don't want to speak for like the world, but I will pay. I will be a paying customer to your service, assuming it's reasonably priced. If you can say, this is what you have to pay. This is what it is. It's accessible on any device. You can watch your favorite team. Why is this so complicated?
We talked a little bit yesterday. I want to bring this up just for giggles. LeBron over the weekend went over 40,000 points.
That's true.
And we'll continue to add to it. Somebody with a little bit of time on their hand did a little bit of math. And they quantified every dollar that LeBron has made playing basketball, not his Nike money, which is double what he's made but it's upwards of $150 million, somewhere up there. And then they took the sum total of points and they did the math. Guess how much each bucket has been worth? Each point to LeBron from the very first point he scored to the last one. Now, with every new bucket, it's getting less and less per point. But
I have no idea.
As we sit 20 years into his career, LeBron has made nearly $12,000 for every point he has scored.
Could you score a point in an NBA game for 12 G's?
I would. I got 5 fouls to keep me on the court. Yeah. Can you imagine coming into the league and saying, no, we're not going to give you a contract. We're just going to pay you $12,000 for every point you score.
That would be really cool.
And LeBron, 20 years later, and $150 million in the bank says, sure. I think the ROI on both sides has turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? Well, we're just the beginning of a full sporting day. I believe Greeny is imminent. In the meantime, last words, RJ?
Des caught it.
Des caught it is enough. Hey, we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for hanging with us.
94.1 Sin